Welcome to the Daily Convo with your host, Big Body, Road Body, and your boy, Wanted T. This is a weekly podcast with just two dudes being bros. Just a couple bros being guys. And if you haven't figured it out by now, just a couple guys being dudes. So let go.
Come on, bruh.
Come
on, bruh. Well, shut your mouth, Juan. Welcome, everyone, to the Daily Convo.
Snap, hold on.
This podcast happens once every 7 days, though. Juan, where'd your camera go, buddy? Did we lose? Is he? Well, thank God he's gone, because we were honestly the two better hosts. I am your host with the most.
Host with something.
The inevitable, the unstoppable,
Ooh.
the juggernaut,
Ooh.
the dirtbag boy, the man who wants all the smoke.
Ooh.
Your boy,
Ooh.
Nabil,
Ooh.
big body, body,
nasty.
and with us today,
Yeah.
hailing from parts unknown,
Yeah.
in the blue corner.
Yeah.
She'll teach you something.
Yeah.
She's beautiful, a killer, quick-witted.
Yeah.
Talk me out.
Yeah.
The teacher.
Yeah.
Jeff, tell him something, learner.
Yeah.
And in the red corner, the human trash bag. The most worthless human being on earth. Less than a cent. Horrible. Stocks going down.
Wow.
Juan Thomas.
Bad review.
I'm just gonna get a new show. I'm just gonna be 100 at this point. I'm starting to believe that.
Told you I'll take your spot.
Thanks,
I don't
Jeff.
like that. I'm taking the name. I'm taking all of this with me. What are you talking? I'm taking the name of the show, the time slot, the links, all of this. I'm just gonna get new people because I'm not getting any respect on this show, and I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
You need a big hug, buddy. Big hug.
Yeah, apparently I do.
Big
But
hug.
no one cares
Hugs
about
for
me.
everybody. Hugs all around.
Unbelievable. Some people.
Well, he's also the other third of the Dirtbag Boys. Juan Thomas.
Dirtbag.
I like that. Dirt
I'm with that.
bags. Really nice
I'm all
word.
about that life.
Pleasant to the ears.
You know what life I'm about, Nabil?
What life are you about, man? Ooh.
I'm about
because you gotta lubricate. You gotta
lubricate my mouth here.
This one.
I'm about that life of sticking out. You know, being the unique one in the group. You know, just
You're not, but okay.
Just being.
Are you
different.
saying I'm a basic bitch? Is that your nice way of putting that?
Your words, not mine. Now, whatever you think you are in life, and if you think you're basic, or you just don't feel like you really shine in the group, here's something that can help you shine.
What is that?
I didn't see that one coming, honestly.
I'm getting good at this.
Yeah, you got me this time.
Not drinking out of ordinary things. That's how you can stand out in the group. And how can you get something so elaborate or so customizable or something so damn cool that if you can think of it, it can happen and be put on a tumbler of your size choice?
On a tumbler?
Tumbler.
I can tell you where it can happen at. Carl's Custom Creations.
Carl's Custom Creation.
He can do it all. Anything you can wrap your mind around that is physically human possible to be done on a tumbler.
Can he build me an affordable home in Austin?
Can it fit in a tumbler on the side of it, like painted onto it with gloss and logos on it?
Can it fit on a tumbler?
If the answer is yes, he can do it, folks. Carl Custom Creations. Put the link in our chat. You can find them on Instagram on the Carl Custom Creations. You can find them on Facebook on Carl Custom Creations. And if you mention the Daily Convo, you will get 10% off. That's insane. No one else is doing that in the game right now.
I can't even count that.
Crazy.
Nobody.
What about
first
time viewers like Junior Abity one?
Junior Abity. I love me some Junior Abity.
Junior Abity. We love it.
Love me some Junior Abity.
Hey.
To wrap that up, Carl Custom Creations, that's customs with a K. Look him up.
Nice. Custom.
He's in here, so y'all can chat with him while the show be going on. Look at Junior Abity doing the thing.
Junior Abity. I love it.
Abity coming in hot.
Coming in strong.
Oh my God. Guys, before we start the what'd you do this weekend, all that stuff, now, at this very moment, right, we have 12 people watching.
Amazing.
Probably growing, but I don't know what else is growing. Shiba Inu watch.
Woo! Shiba watch.
Jess.
The dog.
Okay, it's not a dog. I mean,
you said Shiba Inu. Is that not what you said?
That is what I said.
Shiba Inu. Are you watching a dog?
Well,
it's kind of
close. It's more valuable than a dog. Well, maybe.
No, currently at its current. Well, I mean, depending on where you're at.
Not,
depending on where you're
at its highest state, likely not. But Shiba Inu is a cryptocurrency.
Okay, well, you lost me already.
Let me tell you something about this. Let me tell you something about cryptocurrency. Hold on. Okay, you're gonna come right back in. That marriage proposal is gonna get real enticing from last week.
Okay.
This thing has grown over the last year. This crypto
Shiba Inu, the dog.
The crypto dog.
Crypto dog
has grown 80 million% in value over a year.
Okay.
Which still makes it fractions of a penny. However, if we get to $1, we are multi-millionaires, and you will never fucking see me again.
He's not wrong.
Just keep an eye. Well, Nabil, you can have fun with your Shiba Inu. You know, we'll be here holding it down. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I'm also invested. I'm gonna be
I don't need multi-millions. I don't need it.
Jess, I love you to death, but like I'm out. Like what? Once I win.
Well, you guys both have fun with the dog currency or whatever's going on.
Well, listen, whoever said money can't buy happiness is a fucking liar. Okay, because I'm gonna be happy as shit for the rest of my life.
They say like money can't buy happiness, but I'd be damned if I'm not gonna be happy like on a jet ski or like on a yacht that I bought,
hanging out in the Maldives,
or like in like Bermuda.
Somewhere
or something along those lines. Just anywhere not here.
We're going to Puerto Rico, so I mean
that's gonna be
you're
fire.
not a multimillionaire, but we are going.
That's gonna be a fun episode to talk about when we get back of our Puerto Rico.
Here's how extreme it's gotten, Jess. Juan and I made a pact, like, because this thing surges at like the wee hours of the morning. We made a pact to wake each other the fuck up if it ever surges itself to $1.
Why would you be sleeping?
Sometimes I need it, but I guess Batman never sleeps because crime never sleeps.
So like
I shouldn't.
So like this thing, it doesn't happen in the daytime. It's only happening at night, and you're gonna text Juan and say, "Oh my God,
well, it happened."
I don't like the way you're
like, whoa, you guys are gonna text each other, hit $1.
I'm gonna
add real dumb right now.
Nabil, I'm gonna add one
smart
thing.
As you are.
I'm gonna add one thing to Shiba Watch here. When Shiba Watch concludes and it finally hits $1, we can't give Jess anything. Like, we ain't taking her to dinner.
I love Shiba.
We aren't even buying. Here's what we're gonna do. Actually, here's what we're gonna do. Nabil, new change. We're gonna buy her a dozen of Shiba Inus, the actual dog.
Because we're rich. We can
do that. We can just throw money away.
Jess loves animals so much.
I do love animals.
And then we're gonna drop them in her
These are not nice. I hear that they're mean dogs, so no thank you.
You'll find out because you're gonna have 12.
I don't want
it. These dogs are condescending just like you are. So
yeah.
All that sass is coming at him.
I think somebody's a little salty about
Let me put it in millennial terms for you. Your vibes are bad, okay?
Okay. Excuse me, millennials, we're old now. So I don't need your vibe shit. I understand lingo. Thanks very much.
33 on 107.
Shiba Inu. What'd you say?
I'm going 33 on 107.
Isn't 33? Aren't you still a millennial at 33?
I don't like labels.
Okay. Well, then you can't. That's like the pot calling the kettle black.
He's definitely a millennial.
Yeah, you're definitely a millennial. Yeah.
If I'm a millennial, he's definitely a millennial. So
whatever. Well, let's get into it.
Well, what did you do this weekend before we just dive into the thing,
Why did you
man?
take my question away from me? I was going to ask you what you did.
Well,
Whatever.
I'm going to ask Jess what Jess
what did you do this week? Jess, what did I asked you first? What did you do this week?
You didn't.
Every time we ask this question on the 2 times that I've been on, I always kind of forget. Like I draw a blank.
I do the same
what
thing.
Did I do? Everything. It seems like so long ago, like weeks ago, you know. But my on Friday, I have to really think back here. My boyfriend and I went to a haunted house, which is kind of cool. I try to drag everyone there every single year, and no one will go with me. So this year, I don't understand it. I think haunted houses.
I don't.
So fun.
I do not want to be in a haunted house.
You look like you would. You look like you might be in the haunted house. You know what I mean? Like you're a partaker. You're like.
You look like a haunted house.
You're like in it.
But I would be in the haunted house as a person that just like hanging out. Hey, what are you doing? Oh my fucking god! And just that's how I want to.
Honestly, it's very spooky. Like you could dress up as like a clown. They had like this. We went to House of Torment in Austin, Texas, and they have like this. They have 2 different like attractions. So one is, I think, like some sort of like jailbreak situation, and the other one is like a haunted clown. Like the floors move, and like there's clowns everywhere, and like there's lights. There's like a laser situation going on. It is pretty legit.
Yeah.
If my partner also listens to this, he's going to be annoyed, but he was so scared. He was really freaked out.
How scared?
So I was like holding my jacket the whole entire time as I like pushed us through this haunted house. And it sounds so cliche, but I swear to you that is exactly what happened.
Is it called a jacket or a yacket?
It's definitely a jacket, but I like the enthusiasm.
It's a regional thing. Depends on what part of the United States you're in.
Yeah. And then Saturday, I honestly don't really. I went to like a glow party of some sort. It was kind of fun underground.
A glow party.
It's a glow party. So they paint your face and stuff. It was very interesting, super fun. And then on Sunday, watched football and did a whole nothing. Yeah. How about you, Mr. Judgy Nabil? What'd you do?
I judged people the entire weekend.
That's so surprising. I went to the haunted house and judging him.
I don't like the way he's looking at her. I don't like the way his mustache. I don't know.
I think that you're copying my people right now.
Yeah.
I'm from New York. You can't do the accent. I do the accent.
I just think, how would Fran Dresser sound? Oh my God. I don't like his shots.
Dude, I've always wanted to be for her for Halloween. I think she's great.
First off, Fran Drescher is like underrated 90s hot in my opinion.
I agree. She's very pretty.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, man, she didn't. I think it's because of like how like comedically annoying she was. That it's like
her voice alone does it.
But like, oh my God. So yeah, it probably got to me, but she's super hot, and I'm sure she's like
very pretty.
Normal.
Yeah.
Holler at Beautician and the Beast, which is a terrible Fran Dresser movie. What did I do this weekend? I went to the F1 event.
Oh, fun.
All day. It was cool. Except I just like worked the entire time. I got like invited at the last minute by one of my coworkers that's like, hey, do you mind coming? I'm like, I don't. Why? She's like, I just need emotional support. I'm like, cool. So being a friend, today's subject.
Good friend.
And then later on that night, we had a buddy who had a house party, a housewarming party. Check that out for a little bit. I'm exhausted.
Did you have a buddy? It's funny. I wasn't invited to that one.
Well, you must not have any friends.
With that attitude, you wouldn't.
I hope he's watching. I hope he's listening. No invite for me, Kyle.
Name drop.
Bah. Bah. Bah.
Call out.
Well, I don't know. He's gonna get bitched out, not me. Anyway, and then Saturday we had like this jiu-jitsu seminar, and it was like all fucking day long, and I was exhausted. And all I wanted to do this weekend, like legit, was just play video games, and I didn't get to do that.
Damn.
Sunday, just like I know, right? What a horrible life I live. I woke up on Sunday at like 6 a.m. Like I like simultaneously hate my friend slash training partner and love him for this, but I woke up at like 6 a.m., went to Barton Creek Springs and jumped in that really cold water.
I saw that on your Insta.
Yeah, it was.
That is not for me.
It's amazing. Have you ever done cryotherapy?
So I've actually thought about it only because like they say that it's like really good for like tummy fat. And I was like, maybe this is a solution to not working out.
If that was the case, I would have absolutely just stayed in under 200-degree weather. What the fuck? Anyway,
live in New York.
For some, I love New York. For someone who like is constantly working out and is constantly like hurt and achy and all that shit, like it's the equivalent of that. And that cold water just makes you feel amazing after you get out. And it was awesome. My weekend was outside of that pretty chill. What about you, Juan? No one cares. Let's move on to the show. I'm kidding. Go on. I apologize. I'm sorry. Juan.
No.
Juan, I'm
big
sorry.
hugs. All the hugs.
Save it. You know what?
Juan,
listen. I come on here every week. I come on this show every damn week.
And we appreciate you, dude. We love you.
Appreciate you.
Sure you do. And I get this abuse from people that I consider my friends.
Don't clump that. I'm not in that.
It seems like the only people who are on my side are the people in the chat. Those are the only people who are here.
I think that you're clumping me in with Nabil, and I don't appreciate
listen,
that.
literally, Patrick Escobar just mentioned, I'm only here for Juan. That's my only friend.
Okay, well, Patrick, that's rude as hell, because I'm also
First off, if he's here for you, if Patrick and Junior Abadi are here for you, then
Junior Abadi.
I'm gonna appreciate y'all to
not.
It's my sister Jamie, so it's Jay Rabadi, but I'm just
no, it's Junior Abadi.
It's
not even
Abadi.
Act like
I don't really know how, like, what is it, Twitch, or what are we on? Twitch, Mitch,
yeah, we're on Twitch.
We're on Twitch.
Twitch. Okay, so I don't know how it works. So like, can random people just like join in?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's kind of what you hope for.
So like, that's what I thought. I thought Jay Abadi was someone random that we got. And I'm like, wow, a rando. Maybe I can make an Insta
It's my sister. It's just one part of my family being awesome and supportive.
Look, Junior Abadi is here for you, Jess. Look at that.
Go Lakers right now.
Thank you. Thanks, girl. Appreciate
I do have a question for the group, because I usually do it to Juan, but I have a question for the group. What is a band or an artist when you were younger? You were like, oh, this fucking sucks. But now you're like, I'm an idiot for ever thinking they were terrible. Who is that for you? Because I guarantee you, I'm going to say mine, and everyone here is going to get really upset at me. But I love them now.
Yeah, I don't think I can answer that.
I don't think so. I think that everyone I've loved, I've always just loved.
Yeah.
I think if anything, it was the reverse. Like, they were good then, and now I don't like them.
Like Nelly. For me, when I was
I saw Nelly in concert very recently, and he was pretty freaking good. I'm not kidding.
Is his cheek healed up finally? Did he get?
I didn't get that close. I wasn't like a diehard fan that really wanted to be in it.
Yeah.
So
Patrick loved Patrick. NSYNC. NSYNC is the greatest for Patrick now.
Honestly, NSYNC.
Yeah, I didn't care much for NSYNC when I was younger.
And I probably still don't. I was always a Backstreet Boy, you know.
I was a Backstreet girl.
Because I'm all about the Backstreet. You know what I'm saying? I'm about the other shit.
Can we stop? What did you just say? You're all about the Backstreet?
The Backstreet.
I don't like the way he
actually, truth be told, I was more of a Blackstreet fan.
Trying to get down, good Lord. Better gotta work it all time. Yeah, that band that I hated so much. Not I didn't hate them so much. I was like, this is annoying. Was the Beatles, who I think are amazing. That was a band I didn't like when I was younger.
Did you not like them when you were younger because you just didn't listen to anything of theirs and you just heard the hype, or you listened to them
like it as a kid?
The Beatles.
I didn't like listen to them as much as when I was a kid. But when I used to work at Best Buy, they used to have in the gaming section Rock Band, a video game that you could play with your friends, and you were.
Oh, is it? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, well, it's cool. Like, you get instruments and like all that stuff.
Sounds so fun.
All they ever fucking played was Yellow Submarine, which I fucking hate that song.
Yeah, I honestly, it's not one of my personal favorites.
That's not one of their.
I don't think it's anyone's real.
6 to 8 hours a day, you heard that song 7 times an hour. And if I heard Yamo be there again, I'm gonna Yamo blow my brains out. That's exactly how I felt. It was like the truest sense of the word to that.
Who sung the song Black Hole Sun? Was it Black Sabbath? Not Black Sabbath. Who sung Black Hole Sun? If anybody in the thing can tell me, because playing Rock Band actually made me love that song. Like I heard that song so much, so Black Hole Sun just became like.
I'll look it up because I mean, it's not like any of us don't have a phone right now.
I honestly don't know. I don't know. My best guess is no one. Well, can you tell us what we did?
That's Soundgarden.
I'll tell you this Soundgarden. I'll tell you my super exciting thing that I did this weekend.
Yeah, great.
Not a lot. I went to the house party with my friends.
Oh,
you were there?
I was there, bro.
Holy shit, that's dope.
It's so literally all of my friends were there. It's crazy. It's so
all of your friends are there. That's so funny.
All my
everyone. It was so crazy.
Everyone,
even my Louisiana friends showed up, which is
wow.
All the people in this chat were there. My dad was there.
Junior Abity,
your
the
mom,
Daily Convo.
Yeah, dude.
Everybody made it.
Escobar.
Jess, I'm shocked you missed it. But it was a ball. Haley was there in spirit. And Yezi
Haley, how'd you like that
was there in my heart.
Oh my God, Haley,
also.
She passed away?
Yeah, we're definitely going to get a lot of people in trouble for that.
Anywho, I didn't say whose house party was. I was just saying.
I didn't either.
No, I called him out. I called him out.
I didn't say I was at that house party.
You know
are you calling him out?
I'm going to say it again.
Boy?
Anyway, went to the house party, and then this is where I literally cannot remember what I did Saturday. I don't think I did anything important.
Yeah, it's tough.
I went to the gym. And just chilled. I watched football. I didn't have UT to watch, so I just like relaxed because I got a crazy November coming up. So I decided to just like sit back, chill, and do nada.
Love that.
Yeah, it was
Good
a lot of
for
fun.
you.
It was a lot of fun. I'm happy about these decisions in life.
How often do you cuddle on that couch behind you?
Never.
Me? Like how much? How often do I cuddle like that?
Yes.
I shit you not. Anytime I'm on a work call that's like an hour, like let's say we have an all hands or anything like that, I'm sleeping on that couch.
Are you
really?
Yeah, I will literally get my headphones put on. I got a TV that's right here. I'll turn the TV on, or I will play like Super Nintendo because I literally have a Super Nintendo sitting here.
I would expect that you don't sit in there often because it's your spare room, but I guess it's your office too, huh?
Yeah, I work in there. So I like to keep my work separate from where I live.
I mean, I would like to as well. Not all of us have that luxury. Some of us are rocking a studio, you know?
Crushing it. Hey, but I mean, here's the thing.
I mean, if
your studio is way better, nicer than anything I've ever stayed in.
If you got Shiba Inu coin,
thanks, buddy.
If you got Shiba Inu coin and you got $1 on it,
and it's also let me not steal this away from her. This is also
not her room.
It is her room. Haley has been Haley's to date is the only person who stayed in this room longer than literally anyone. Consistently. She lived here. She's my Louisiana sister. She's my roommate for life.
She's not.
Yeah.
Period. She was your roommate for life. Where is she? Hey, Haley, walk behind him right now.
She got her own place. She moved out.
She got her own job. She got her
own place, baby. Good job, Haley.
Anywho.
All right, let's get into it. I'm keeping us on track today because we tend to get on these tangents and then like we're done like 4 hours later. You know what I mean? Let's chat.
I don't like her.
Let's freaking talk.
Do you want me to jump into this? Am I jumping?
Yeah, I want to jump into it. Let's get to the hard stuff.
Guys, is a 3-parter, right? We're talking about relationships. There's a rainbow word. Get the CGI guy. Like, relationships.
Friends.
Love it. Yeah.
You know SpongeBob?
And part 1 is about friends. Not the show.
Friends.
So,
although I definitely would talk about the show.
So all of us have friends. I don't.
Yeah, I wasn't invited to the house party. So.
I have family. And they would all put me up for adoption. But today's topic is friends, how we balance it, how we define it, how we manage our lives with friends, where the benefits come, where some of our troubles have been. And so, yeah, Jess is here with us again today on the Daily Convo weekly podcast to discuss this. So, guys, Jess, ladies first. We talk about friends. This is a 2-parter. 1, how do you define friendship?
That's difficult. because I think friendship can mean so many things. You know, I've said this before to different people, but there are certain friends that are in your life for a certain point of time or part of time to get you through something, or they're there with you through an experience and then they're kind of gone. And there are friends that are there continuously, right? That are friends, they're long-term friends. So I think friends, to me, it varies, right? Because there's also all different levels of friendship. But I think with my close friends, it's the connection, you know, it's the reliability, it's that family type feeling that you would do anything for them, right? But the biggest thing and the overall thing is, I think, bonding. I think when you're able to bond with someone like that, that's a friend, you know?
So when you say there's levels, are you saying like it's like there's 7 circles of hell? So something similar to that in dealing
Exactly what I'm saying.
Fair.
No, I think there's levels of closeness. You know,
Yeah.
I think like I said, I have friends for all different purposes. I have friends that I go out with. There are friends that I, you know, hang out and sit on the couch with and we don't talk. You know what I mean? There are friends that I call once every few months and we're just as close as we were when I talked to them last a few months ago. You know, I think there's different friends for different portions of your things that you do in your life, right? And I think everybody has those friends. And then I have my close circle that I see consistently, right? So it just depends on the friendship.
So you would say I'm probably the friend that knows the most secrets about you. I'm your closest friend.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely, you know the most. I would say you're probably the closest friend I have.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sleepovers, face masks, we do it all.
Yeah. And she's just a person I know. One question to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so for me, I as an only child, my kind of definition of my friends are my family. I think there's levels. Naturally, there's levels to friendship, whether it be your inner circle, core people, fringe friends, as I like to call them, and then there's associates. For me, I define friendship as like you are that person that I can rely on when I need somebody. Basically, how you would, for those with a big family, or you associate, like how you would look at your family when shit hits the fan and you need to count on somebody, you need to rely on somebody. Like that's my friends for me. There are constant little things that I do when I interact with somebody to kind of push a boundary or test to see like how tight are we really. And once this kind of gets uncovered, then I know I'm like, okay, you're somebody I can depend on. I fuck with you. If it never gets to that point, then you stay that either the friends or an associate from there. But like for me, if I can count on you and I can rely on you, we tight. And that for me is friends. My friends and family line are a very blurred line.
How do I get you to stop effing with me?
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
Just keep being you. You're getting there. You were core to friends and you're an associate, so you keep it up. You'll
to marriage. Anyway, so I think when we're going to talk about relationships, I think there's going to be a lot of statements that are super analytical about it, which is like weird when we're talking about emotions and relationships and stuff like that. And I might be oversimplifying it when I say, in my opinion, friends are the people that make the good times better and the bad times easier. And so that leads me to my next question. Like,
I like that.
what
it sounds like it would be in like a my mom's house, like in a frame.
That's,
you know,
trademarked. I'm going to sell it to your mom.
Trademark.
Shout out to Miss Lerner. So what are some key attributes that you would say your friends need to have?
Is it me? Is it
ladies first? I thought I established that when I said ladies first.
You kind of said it earlier, but you didn't continue.
I don't really think that. We don't know how one identifies. You know what I mean?
Attribute. Jesus fucking Christ! Just answer the question.
Okay, read me the question again because that distracted me.
Yeah. So the question was, what are some key attributes? Shit. Oh, sorry. Gee, we're just messing up. What are some key attributes you need your friends to have?
Okay. I think we talked about, you asked a question last podcast of, what makes someone successful, right? What makes them, thrive. And I think it kind of ties in with what I see as someone who makes something that makes someone a good friend, right? I think loyalty, honesty, right? Those are things that you want in a friendship. You know, if I'm wearing like, and this is cliche, but if I'm wearing like a terrible top, you know, and it doesn't look good, I want my friend to be like, hey, that doesn't look good. Don't go out in that. You know what I mean? That's part of being a friend, and sometimes a little tough love, but that's what I look for in a real friendship. Because if you are hanging out with someone and they're telling you, oh my God, it looks so great, and like your eyelashes look so great, and you don't have a pimple, you know, and you know that shit isn't true, then your friendship is only surface level. You know what I mean? I want a deeper connection. I want honesty. I want loyalty. I want it to be a little tough sometimes. That's what I see as friendship. That's what I see in a friend, you know?
To me, it's kind of, I didn't know how to word this very well, but like loyalty without like the expectation of something, right? Like to just be there for the person because you love that person.
Right. Without reward.
Exactly. And just like,
or acknowledgement.
Ultimate acceptance, right?
Yeah.
Like not a single one of us, hard to believe, especially me, are perfect in any way. Like we all have our own insecurities that come to the surface, our own flaws, just things that just annoy the shit out of another person, right? But I think there's a difference between annoying and disrespecting. So we'll get to that later, but like acceptance, and then also just having like a sense of commonality, right? Like the reason why you, and as you stated earlier, you and your friend can sit on a couch and say nothing for hours is because like you guys both have this like common interest in whatever you're doing right then and there, and just comfortable with each other.
Just the
and then just like
space,
comfort is a good one.
Yeah.
And then just in my opinion, like the sense of inclusivity, right? Like it's just like, hey, I'm doing this, come with me. Hey, we're doing that, like it's just being a friend. And then lastly, to me, a friend is not a person that shit just revolves around them and it's self-centered.
It's like, not on their time.
It's not always on their time, and that is the quickest way to just, I think, not be anyone's friend, right? If it's I'm doing this, I need you to do this for me, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how
think sometimes it's okay. I think friendships you give and take, right? I think the dynamic changes. Like sometimes you need them, sometimes they need you, sometimes you need to vent about a breakup, sometimes they do. So I think it's a give and take, but it shouldn't always be one-sided.
Yeah, let me clarify this statement. It's more like, hey, it's constantly this, hey, I'm doing a charity thing for streaming. Or I'm sorry, hey, how you doing? I'm great, whatever. Haven't heard you in 6 months. Hey, I'm doing a charity stream. Why don't you come in and donate some fucking money for me at my charity? Right? Like, I'm sorry, where were you the last like 3 or 4 months? Exactly. Like
that's different. That's different.
To you, sir.
Yeah. So I mean, some of the similar points, and for me, I think that unconscious reliability, I think, is something that I look for in friends. You coming to me when you need help means the fucking world to me. Like that to me is a sign of acceptance in a friend. That's a level of trust when you hit a low and you just assume I can help or I can be there in some type of way. That means something to me. And kind of, we touched on it earlier, right? Like getting to that point of trust, but not just in a trust in like trusting you. I trust every aspect of you. So and I put that in a perspective to say, like, if prime example, right? If I left and went out of town, I don't, to this day, I can't tell you how many of my friends have a key to my apartment. A lot of people fucking, why? Because you're in my circle. I trust you. There is no doubt in my mind that I need to risk you having a key to my apartment.
And we rob him constantly. That's why
I lose stuff all the time, and I'm pretty sure someone's stealing it, but that might be because so many people have keys. But like, you know, there's a level of like love that comes with trust. A dependability upon this person, accountability of this person. And for me, that's everything. And I kind of want to touch, Nabil, your point. You mentioned how, you know, you're right. A relationship with somebody in a friendship does not need to always be a them-centered. But it's funny, I find some of the people I've grown to have a good relationship with very much started that way. It very much started from they were in a place in their life where they needed that attention. They needed that draw. They needed 100% of me or 100% of my time and didn't have 5 or 10% to give. Right. I think there's seasons with that, right? Like there's moments where you can catch somebody at a time in their life where their shit isn't there yet. And they just need. And sometimes you can fill that void to kind of bring them up. But again, that can only be for so long. Right. So, if this turns into be the whole fucking thing, then that's a whole other thing.
So then how do you assess or discern? This isn't one of our questions, but you brought up a great point. How do you assess or discern that someone is worthy of that time, right? Without knowing them, without like knowing a thing about them. I mean, I know you, like you're just a goodwill person. Yeah. But how do you make the assessment when you see someone that's like, oh, my life fucking sucks. Boyfriend broke up with me. Fuck, this is horrible. Blah, 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 blah. How are you like, all right, well, hey, come grab a drink. Like, come on out, get out of that. It's not gonna be good.
So I don't think I can answer that to be a response for everyone else, because I feel firmly that I'm completely different in this, which is why I end the show the way I end it. I believe everybody is worth figuring out if they're worth your time. Mm-hmm. And in that instance, when, and it's exactly how I look at it. If I didn't know you, Nabil, and we hung out once or twice, and you come to me with like, hey man, I got broken up with, and I'm just fucking like, I want to go get a drink. Can you come with me to get a drink, or whatever it might be, right? The fact you came to me with that right off the bat means the world to me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to respect that.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because you are at a point in your life where you have to turn to someone you don't even fucking know for help. And that person's me. There's something you've seen in me, whether it was consciously or subconsciously, to trust me and want to get my advice on it, because you think I can tell you something you don't already know. Now, whether it might just be we go, we sit, we don't even fucking talk about the topic. There's a comfort that you feel being around me that made you want to ask me to come with you to do whatever the fuck it is, right? That I find it's an amazing thing. I feel like humans do. You kind of see the things in like dogs where they just kind of bond for no good reason. If a dog's injured, another dog might come and help them out. But like, it's kind of a living feature that when we hit these lows in our lives or depression in our lives, we just kind of reach out for things and hope that they receive us. And that's how I always partake it, right? If you're going through some shit and you come to me and you talk about it, I don't even know you, and like you come to ask me, I'm going to respect that. Now, when it becomes too much is when it is too much. And when it becomes too much is when, I've known you now for 6, 7, 8 months now, however long it might be. And it only turns into, you only come to me with a problem. Yeah. You never hit me up on anything else. It's always it's a me thing, right? Yeah. I'll help you in your moment, but there becomes a point where I'm being taken advantage of, and like, that's about.
Right. Let me ask, right? You're giving someone that leeway, blah, blah, blah. You mentioned inner circle, both of you actually. So how does someone cross that line with you, right? In the sense of like, how do I get on the other side and be your best friend, be in the inner circle, right? Like get your trust and like all that good stuff. How do I do that? I'll start with Juan since you mentioned it.
Actually, I'm going to pass to Jess.
I'm going to pass it back to me. And
Take it. I want to hear what you have to say. Go first. I'm in. I'm listening. Go first. What do you think?
Like for me, I'm a very walls up kind of person, right? There's only so much that people see of me when I'm out in public facing, blah, 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 especially when I meet you or know you for a year, whatever. But for me, it's like, it's time. And for me, I think, and maybe this sounds arrogant, but I think everyone should feel this way. You should value who you are, value your time. And I just think that you need to build that trust with me. And I'm not saying that like I'm somebody who's like Donald fucking Trump or whatever, this is going to open these doors and blah, 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 like, but I think if you see something in me, I'm the kind of person that just like will show as much loyalty as I can. I'll give you the shirt off my back, which by the way is still a really big shirt, but I will be there for you as much as I can, like you're my family. But the way to get to that with me is just time, trust, respect, right? Like those are things that I'm just like, I'm big on outside of the commonality, and right, we're whatever, we like these things together, blah, 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 blah. But that's how I view it. That's how I think it should be done.
Yeah. Well, I think with that, right, that kind of goes into the friends, it's levels, right? And I think a friend can start out as just going out, you know what I mean? Or just like going to lunch once in a while. And I think the more you get to know them, right, and the more you feel like, hey, this is someone I can trust, this is someone I can talk to, you know, you're starting to feel like, hey, I'm learning that you, and this sounds cocky, but deserve my time, deserve my ear, deserve my kindness, right? And I think that comes along with moving through those levels, right? And getting to that point where you guys are very close. You know, my best friends didn't start out as best friends. You know, my Mary Lynn and I, one of my good friends, best friends, we met, you know, at a happy hour by chance. We sat next to each other at a table and we started talking. There was a connection there, but we didn't become best friends for, you know, I mean, and it moved pretty quickly, but for a few months, you know what I mean? We had to get to know each other, and we hung out maybe once in a while, went to get lunch, went to get dinner. You know, it builds up, and you only lend your trust to someone who's deserving. You know, I think that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's in kind of that same boat, right? Like once I see you open up, and then I can open up as well, and it's received just as I received you, I see that as kind of a step forward. Honestly, I feel my inner core of friends all kind of happened on accident. It wasn't really like a moment that just was like, you're it. It just became an over time, like, yeah, you're still here. Right. Yeah. Like you're
still hanging out.
You're still hanging out. Like I've gone through something and needed you, and you were there, you reciprocated. Yeah. You've used me in the same way that I've used you. Like it just kind of becomes this mutual, we're in this shit together.
Understanding.
Exactly. And an understanding of where you are and where I am. And like, you know, I'll speak to like me and Nabil, like the bond and the friendship happened because we've been in the same struggle most of the time that we've been known each other, honestly. Like we met at AT&T as a progression from the last shitty job we've had into a much better opportunity. And then it just became a like mad hustle to be better.
Yeah.
Right. Like in every aspect of, all right, well, fuck it. Like AT&T sucks. Let's move. And he moved to Dell, and he was like, bring your ass. I was like, say less. And we ended up at Dell, and then it just kind of progressed from there. But it was like all aspects of life, like, you know, whether it became a, you know, the video game world on like, I mean, this guy bought me my PS4 back in the Gap, right? For because we gamed so much, right? Like it was like he didn't want to game with me not there, and vice versa. And if I had, I would have done the same thing, right? Like it's on that level.
You grow together.
We grow together, right? So like when I look to my core of people, most of my core, we were here and we progressed. He's not on right now, but another one, Thomas Haley, for the gamers out there, they know him as Kid Flash. It's a funny story. Kid Flash is a great example of, I call like those external core friends, the ones you don't talk to that often, but they're there. But like they're your fucking rock regardless.
Yeah, of course.
And the funny thing with Flash was I hated Flash as a kid. Hated Flash. In fact, I almost got in a fight at church, and it was to Flash, and I almost whooped Flash's ass at church. What happened? Man, we went to the same church. Flash lived like around the corner. Like I could literally, not even bullshitting, to throw a rock and hit his house from the front steps of the church. So we would always party. Me and Flash's older brother Eric were like super, super tight. Me and Eric were the same age. Flash was a little younger, so he was the younger brother. It was always a slight resentment with Flash because Flash could sing really, really well. Really, really well.
But now you can sing really, really well.
Not even listen, if Flash is
such a good singer.
Flash can sing
so good.
I can hold a note. I can hold a tune. Flash can sing. Like
and I can sing.
Bill can't sing. But Flash can sing. Thomas can sing. So there was always this resentment. We were in the choir. He always got the solos. I never got anything because Flash can sing. We were standing outside between, and this was like, when I tell you, when I was a kid, I was in church damn near all day on Sunday. I was in church damn near all day on Sunday. From 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock service. Then we had Sunday school, and then there was 11 o'clock service. I didn't get home till like 1 or 2. So in between these services, we're sitting out front, and I don't know what provoked Flash to do this, but Flash literally like took a Bible and like hit me in the back of the head with this Bible, and then took off running. Now Flash is fast, which is why we called him Kid Flash.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you don't say. He's fast.
He's super fast. I was very pissed off, and I couldn't catch him. Wasn't gonna try. So I just sat on that for a minute, and then eventually he came back laughing, and I had grabbed him by his shirt and pinned him up to like this brick wall, and like we're like literally in front of the church.
No.
His brother's there, like, had to pull me off of him, and other friend had to pull off. So like I hated Flash for most of my life.
I now also hate Flash.
Right, as you should.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure Flash knows that you hate it. But like,
Also an Eagles fan, which is disgusting. Go on.
The worst aspect of a human. Like, how could you fucking be an Eagles fan?
Oh.
But as we grew older, like the friendship I thought I had with his brother was not a very genuine friendship. His brother and I just really weren't as tight as I thought we were, right? And a lot of it had to do with the fact that we went to different schools. We really didn't have a lot in common. And honestly, it wasn't until high school when I would go over to their house a lot, and then Flash kind of grew up a bit, that like we started bonding over playing games, and like Eric was gone a lot of times, and I would just show up to the house, and then it was just like me and Thomas hanging out. And then I left for college, and coming back, I just hung out with Flash all the time. Like it was just me and Flash kicking all the time. So then like that grew into a brotherhood. Like that's my dog, right? Like that's my boy. So it's funny how that progresses, but like to kind of answer that question, right? Like there isn't for me a clear thing that happens that somebody crosses the line. It's just like I wake up one day and
they're just like, really, yeah, I agree.
Like you're my people now, you know?
I agree. I think it happens to certain friends, and sometimes it just doesn't. And you just like, all of a sudden you're like, wow, I like you.
Yeah.
You know,
for me, it's always like some kind of deep conversation that happens, some deep understanding, I need to come to you and talk to you about something.
Well, that's, Juan seems to be the guy for that. So if you got anything you need to say,
bring it.
You know where to go.
I can almost promise there's most of the people in the chat who know me, I've had some very, very real conversations with.
Yeah.
I got to pause right there. And I got to point this out. Something awesome, something amazing. Guys, we broke 50 subscribers.
Wow. Congratulations.
Awesome. Awesome. And on top of that, we have 22 people in here.
Everybody.
That's huge. That's really huge.
Everyone that's like chatting with us, talking, hanging out, you guys are fucking awesome. Thank you so
I don't have the Twitch thingy up. What's it? Twitch switch? I don't have it, but I should get it so I can see what people are saying.
You should.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, so here's what I do. Just go to like twitch.tv/daily convo. Mute
right now.
Mute the stream because it'll seep through here. So mute yourself right now.
Okay,
mute
great.
I'm
in technology, everybody.
You can see the conversation. How do you share the page? Yeah, it's just it's Twitch. The link is twitch.tv/daily convo. And to everyone that's shared, that's joining, again, I can't thank you enough. I didn't really think much of it just because, I don't know, it's just a fun thing that we wanted to do, mostly with our friends. I mean, Juan and I constantly bullshit online, and we're always having like these really weird in-depth conversations based on nothing. In fact, one day, one of our other friends was like, hey, I gotta ask you guys a question. How do you guys find something new to talk about every day? Which to me is like a weird, like fucking question to ask, because it's like, do you not have friends? Like, how does that work? Do you not have people around you? Like, you just find different things to talk about. And then that just kind of manifested to we should do this. We should just like have it as a podcast. And kind of been thinking about it. It was like, well, what do we call it? This, that. One early on came up with the conversation, with the daily conversation. We realized it was probably too long, but with that, we came up with so many like weird little gimmicky twists, like a weekly podcast, the daily conversation, and then all these like weird little fucking segments that we could do just to make everyone laugh. But
I'll say the one thing we thought about that like I'm upset nobody caught, and this is one of those like the jokes is too meta that it just went over everybody's head, was last episode was our brosode.
Yep.
And we introduced our female correspondent
Exactly.
on our brosode.
You introduced a woman on the
I would just like to say that, I don't have a penis and I get it, but I consider myself a bro. Yeah. I'll be surprised.
Wait a minute.
You waited this whole time to tell me that?
This whole time to announce it. Yeah, I guess I don't have
What?
a penis. I know. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Thank God those weird repressed thoughts are not so uncommon.
They're gone now.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right, great. I don't feel bad about myself.
Well, the marriage
Also,
is off
I
now.
wish my partner was listening. Surprise, babe.
She has no penis. I'm gonna
Yeah.
text him and let him know that
Yeah.
he's literally
Do
dating
that.
someone without a penis.
Do
Like,
that.
unbelievable. Then
He'll probably
Anyway.
leave me, honestly.
If this is a man's world, no, it's not. Anyway, so thank you guys again.
appreciate y'all,
And
man.
Thanks,
moving on.
everybody.
Here's the thing: we probably should have switched the questions around because it kind of gets weird after this point.
I love weird.
It does get weird. I just looked through the
said
line.
I
I
don't
forgot
have
how
a
weird this
penis,
gets.
so let's talk about weird.
I'm
I
so
know
happy about this.
that's why I hate talking to you. So let me ask. Speaking of hating talking to you, what is your limit, Jess,
Thank you for
On-
addressing me.
on how much shit you're willing to put up with as far as like your close friends willing like
Yeah.
maybe cross that line with you, right? Like
Yeah.
someone says that one fucking trigger or constantly is doing this thing that just annoys you. How much of that are you willing to put up with? But the second part to that is that thing that you're constantly putting up with that like crosses a line. How much does that actually fucking hurt you?
So I think
And
it
I
depends
also
on
want to
what
like
it
add a
is.
flair to that, just a little flair to make it like I want to know what that thing is also.
Yeah.
Like, what's your fucking like we're done.
I think, okay, this is now a multi-question, really hard for me to
a
keep
lot.
track.
It's
a lot.
I just
You just laid it on thick.
hell yeah, girl.
I think it's if we are close enough and you and I, let's say it's Juan and I, right? And Juan and I at a point where we are very good friends. We talk quite often. We've had serious conversations. We have silly conversations. We've gone out together. There's a friendship, a good friendship, right? If Juan did something or continuously did something or said something or acted a certain way towards me, first of all, I would have the conversation first. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to say, hey, Juan, that annoyed the crap out of me or you really pissed me off or made me upset. You're out. That is never, ever going to happen. It's like friendships are like relationships. If my partner pisses me off, I'm like, hey, babe, don't do that again. At least you have the conversation once. You deserve a conversation and you deserve a little grace, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's just like first and foremost, really important. That person needs to know what you're doing. I'm not just going to ditch you as a friend because you pissed me off a couple times. I think if there's also really an issue, you sit down and have a serious conversation and say, hey, I'm about to hit my limit here. I need you to know that if this continues, I can no longer be as close with you. Doesn't mean I'm just going to drop you as a friend. To lose me as a friend is pretty hard to do. I'm like suction cup to most of my friends. I call, and if Adam is on this, I call Mary probably 8 times a day. We have jobs. It is hard to get rid of me, so I think that's just something that, I hold dear and true to my heart is just giving people second chances, third chances, because you don't know what they're going through or maybe you do as a close friend, but they deserve some of your time.
Yeah.
And then as far as like what somebody would do to really piss me off, I think like lying is totally unacceptable in a friendship. I think like, if you're like, hey, or really pisses me off, ditching me. I hate that. If you're like, hey, we're going to go to dinner 2 weeks from now on Tuesday at 8, I'm going to be there waiting for you. And if you're like 10 minutes before, like, oh, hey, like can't show, I have to like watch my mom's bunny rabbit or something. And then I see you like on Instagram and you're like, watching movies with your boyfriend, I'm going to get pissed. I do not like that. Not to say it's going to end a relationship, but if you continuously did that to me or lied to me, that's it. I'm going to be like, hey, you know, I got to back off from this friendship. It ain't worth it.
Yeah.
You know,
And so let
I
me
just
ask
don't like
you,
always.
so to the second part of that, how much does that actually like hurt you? Like,
Oh yeah. I mean, I think this goes to any relationship that exists in your life, even with your parents, with your boyfriend or girlfriend or your partner. I think being lied to is such a hurtful action. I think that it diminishes trust, obviously, but it also just like, I think diminishes that understanding, that bond that you have with someone. You know, I think when you open yourself up and you trust someone and you know, you're like, hey, I really appreciate our friendship, and you have this good vibe going. When someone lies to you, it's like, what about all the things that we've built? You know what I mean? It just feels like it's like tearing it down to me. You know, so what am I not reading some sort of Twitch
No,
thing?
I swear.
no,
Yeah,
I'm reading the
it's-
comments. I'm reading.
I honestly, I just stopped paying attention to shit.
No, it's okay. I'm laughing at.
but-
If I'm laughing, I'm laughing at the comments. That's why.
Yeah, it's not you.
Yeah, fuck you guys. Listen to my feelings.
Sorry,
It's like, you
Jess.
know,
I love you, Jess.
Sorry, Mom.
yeah. This is, don't lie to me. Okay?
Jess is
That's
guilty
the
of
overall
nothing.
consensus. Do not lie to Jess. She hates it.
Yeah.
How about you guys? Do you feel like
Me
I'm
first, or you
I'm
first?
not gonna say you guys, I'm gonna say Nabil, because
Oh,
if I say you guys and you guys would both answer at the same time. So Nabil, what do you feel like would be your like end all be all? What does someone have to do to end a friendship with you?
so I'm like in the same boat as Juan. Like, I give people a lot of time and a lot of grace. Like, I really do. However, for myself, once like that line is crossed, it is really like that Arab stubbornness that I have is really hard to pull me back from.
Yeah.
Usually I'll just give people, if I do, maybe one chance, right? Because once I get like upset at something, like it's kind of fucking it for me at this point in time, because I like to think of a person that's like very tolerant and patient. With that being said, so the first part to that is the thing that irks me is like just like Junior Abadi said, is feeling used, right? If I'm only getting called or reached out to when you're having this like existential like life crisis or decision that you need my advice on, or you just want me to come over and hang out when it's like some kind of celebration, that to me doesn't fly, right?
Yeah.
Like and then concordingly, or whatever, I see you going out. What was that?
You said use your words.
Got him. And then I see you hanging out constantly like with other friends. I'm just not invited. Like I used to think when I was younger, like when you're an adult, like these things don't hurt you. They probably hurt you the fucking most.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
I feel like that's a big topic with you, Nabil, like inclusivity. I feel like you brought it up last time too.
Yeah.
You know?
It's because I am so like, come do this with me, come be here with me, like come experience this with me. And like Juan and I talked about this, right? I first off, I say this and we're in a much better place than where we were when I had this first conversation. But there was a period in time in my life where I had broken up with my girlfriend and things were just rough. And so I had been told, hey, come to South Austin, we'll hang out. It's going to be a blast, blah, blah, blah. I moved to South Austin, and unfortunately, like and I've traced it back like in my thoughts, like, well, where could this have kind of come from? Because I just overanalyze the shit out of things. But like there's a period in time where there were months there where you guys were doing things and I wasn't close friends with you or Mary or any of them, right? We knew each other, we're cordial, but I only knew Juan, and you guys were doing things and having trips and whatever. And I wasn't ever really asked. And being a person that's up north where I had family, friends, the gym, and to move so far away from all that, and to just have my one best friend there.
It's hard.
And it was really hard. And
you're relying on them all the time to include you in things that with people that you don't know, really.
Yeah.
And so where I would trace that back to, if I'm just being open and honest, like, and we'll talk about this on the next episode on relationships, how to balance things. I'm sorry, the last one. I was dating my girlfriend, and I'm pretty sure if I had to think back to it, one probably had invited me to a lot of things. And
Yeah.
maybe because I was just dating someone, I just didn't know how to balance that.
Right.
Maybe it just went to that, and maybe it just went to the habit of like, well, he's not going to show up, or he's not going to be a part of it. And if I had to think, like, in really thinking about that, that's probably where I could trace maybe that habit of maybe
not having you around.
Look like maybe he just doesn't care to come out, or he doesn't give a shit about any of this.
Yeah.
No.
But I got upset one day, and it just like it really just hurt, and I just said, fuck this place, fuck South Austin. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm moving north. And there was a few days where we talk about this all the time, by the way, total side note. If like something happens to one of us, me or Juan are the first people to know whether we're missing or dead or something's wrong, because we text each other every day.
Yeah.
Multiple times a day.
Guys, when COVID hit, we were on PlayStation or Xbox chatting every day, all day. And that's just like how it was. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And so he just kind of knew, because I just wasn't like, to me, I just shut away from you. And that is how I get upset, and I just move away. And he just kind of knew after a few days, hey, can you please talk to me? Can you tell me
what's going on? Yeah. You can tell.
I said it, and he wasn't aware, and like it just didn't click to him, and he super apologetic. Like that, to me, that's just part of what makes a good friend, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I did something wrong. I'm willing to own up to it.
For a lot of people, it's not easy to just say, I'm sorry, right?
Yeah.
To up your shit.
Yeah.
It's a really
really hard.
Right?
It's hard to accept that you've had a part in making someone else unhappy.
Cool. Yeah.
You know, because if no one's, especially as good as the person's Juan is, he doesn't want that to be his fault. And I'm sure it fully wasn't, you know what I mean? Everybody's got a part to play, right? But I think for people like Juan, who are so kind, right? It's so hard to admit to yourself, like, I made someone upset, you know what I mean? By something that I did or didn't do, right? But I will say, and also Juan's defense, I have friends like that. And I've also been that friend, right? That gets left out because like I had a partner, or I was doing something on a Saturday night. And, you know, they thought I might be with my partner, but I wasn't, but no one asked. And, you know what I mean? And I think you get into that routine and you're like, oh, they're probably doing stuff with their partner, so they don't have time to hang out with me, you know? And that's on both parties. Yeah.
And I mean, you know, from my view from that, it was a lot of, and I feel as it's tough when, you know, it's crazy. I feel stupid even saying this. It's tough being a friend, if I'm just going to be honest with you.
It is tough. It's tough. A lot of friends too. It's really hard to balance.
Friendship's tough as fuck, because we tend to, and in that situation, we tended to believe we knew this person so much that we just assumed there's just some things you're just not going to want to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like there were, when you moved, if I'm not mistaken, like that was right around COVID, when COVID hit, and you know, there were just like, we played disc golf every fucking day. I'm like, he's not gonna want to come play disc golf. And then we'd go and shoot pool. I'm like, he's not gonna want to come to the pool. He doesn't drink. And then it wasn't until like later towards the end, we're like, oh, fuck it, let's invite him out and see if he comes, right? So it was like a lot of the assumptions of, I don't think this is something he wants to do. I'm not even gonna tell him about it, right? Yeah. Which is the wrong way to fucking do it, right? It's not how you should handle that at all, right? Like it. And it's funny that I you know, some of you know the kind of the situation. I just kind of blew up on a longtime friend of mine, but that was a kind of a situation in those lines where like she made the decision for me. She didn't give me the opportunity to make that decision myself, and she made the assumption, and it was wrong, right? And the difference between that situation and me and the Bill situation was, we made that I made the decision. He called me on my shit, and I immediately was just, fuck, my fault. Like I didn't realize that was a problem. I didn't realize I was doing that.
And for me, you know, it was just like, all right, maybe I'm dropping hints, I'm saying this and that, but in reality, it's just like, say it. And say, hey, listen, if I'd have said something 5 months prior, like, hey man, I came down here for X, Y, and Z. Like, come on. Like, I don't want to be that. I mean, but you know what I mean? And that's
that goes back to the fault of friendships, right? The assumption. We were both assuming the wrong thing.
Yeah, I thought it was like, I think
communication is so important, everybody.
Exactly. Communication is
even with your friends. Friendship is hard.
in that same light, right, where you were like, oh fuck, I feel terrible. I have another friend where I was saying those same things, right? Like
Yeah.
X, Y, or Z, like dropping pretty big hints that it's like, oh man, this looks awesome. Man, we should do this. Hey, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, cool. And then they would go do it. And I'm like, what in the fuck? Like, I know you text me one time. So like, what? And so that just like causes quite a stir. Like at some point in time, like outside of saying it, like we're really saying it. And then like, they're just not hearing it and they're ignoring it. So that's where like other friendships are at fault. But the one last thing I will say, and I'll let you jump into it. There are certain ways that we talk to each other in a very sibling-like manner where we dig at each other. But there is a line that is like completely crossed when you are like degrading a person. Like, listen, all of us in here are well-accomplished adults. And at the very bare minimum, you are. I'm not. But at the very bare minimum, we deserve a barrier to entry of respect, right? In maybe how you want to, like, if you're upset or your insecurity is getting the better of you, whatever, like you should know how to communicate without ever crossing that line of degrading someone or putting someone the fuck down for being positive or trying or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
That would be the other thing that I could probably say that would like really hurt you and then diminish your friendship.
Well, I don't think that, I mean, we're all pretty smart people. I think if you're surrounding yourself with people who are bringing you down, I think we come to the point where that's not, you know, we'd realize it's not really a friend. You know what I mean? That's someone that you maybe you thought was different.
There are relationships, both in friendships and in actual relationships, that we say that about, like abusive, whatever, that like people just won't get out of because they put in time and they put in blah. Like time correlates to value for people, and then it's not a thing, right? Or true. Changes. So it's like, yeah, you would hope that we're all smarter than that, but in reality, everybody makes those same mistakes.
Yeah.
As far as the people that choose to bring in.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I agree.
Floor is yours, Juan. I'm sorry.
Unbelievable.
What is that?
What is that? Like spaced out a second. Like, what the hell is that?
You jumped in on my answer. That's
no, but you're no. So yeah. I mean, you're spot on with that, and I think to kind of, you know, wrap this up, and the second part to your question was, how does it hurt, right? Man, as someone who's kind of recently gone through it, like I could make the argument to say that I think losing a friend hurts worse than losing a partner.
It's like, so bad.
It's especially for me in the sense that if I get to the point where I am fed up with you as a friend and I don't even want to fucking talk to you anymore, ooh, man, like it hurts because I never expected it.
Yeah.
It's the farthest thought that had ever crossed my mind. Even, Nabil, when we've had our little tiffs and falling outs throughout the years, right? There was never a point in that moment where I'm like, I'm fucking done with this guy. Like, I'm not.
I never really thought that.
Right? Like, it never.
I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah, it never clicked. I just knew, like, all right, I fucked up and I got to figure out how to write it, or vice versa, or like, let me get out of my shit and just squash it and just move past it. But like, when you get to a point when like that pep talk doesn't do it anymore, when I can't just be like, all right, cool, let's fake it till we make it and tomorrow will be better. When that shit doesn't work, like, bro, that fucking hurts, because there's the part that sucks is like there's things that like you still want to do. Like there's still, even now, right? Like I'm still dealing with the person that I cut off. Like there's still shit I want to reach out to them about. Like there's still shit I see them like love this shit. But fuck you. Like you don't deserve it. and it's the animosity and the hate that resides in you around that person. Like I never thought I could truthfully hate someone until a friend burns a bridge.
Yeah.
Because and
it hurts at the same time.
Fucking hurt, man. I gave you so fucking much, and like to see you just shit all over it like it meant nothing. And and it's the hurt is that you never understood me.
Yeah.
that's the reality. You never got me to understand how important this is.
Never took the time to.
You never took the time to. You took it for granted, and then only when it blew up in your face is it now a problem for you. You want to try to solve it, right? Or like, no,
that's not how it works.
It's not how it is. So the hurt is just undescribable, honestly. Like it's shit that kind of sits with you for a minute, because I can think about every friend whose bridge is burnt, and I can bring that shit up, and the pain is just like it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So this isn't in our questionnaire, but when someone crosses that line for you, how easy is it for you to say, and fuck you, goodbye? Like,
for me, it's not easy, because I battle with my subconscious that will rise above my own thoughts. So
is it, by the way, is it because you put yourself in that position? Like, because is it one of those things, well, if I fucked up, I would try and try and try, not really thinking that this person wouldn't try?
Exactly. I would look at it as, if it was me in that sense, I would want the second chance. I would want even the third chance, right? Like I would want an opportunity to rectify what I've done. However, there are lines that are uncrossed. There's unforgivable lines. A repeated liar, a repeated just sign of a shitty person, right? Like if you start making me doubt everything, I can't unforgive that. And that only comes with consistently lying or consistently not telling the truth, and then getting called out on it, and you still lie about it. Like there's just so fucking much you can take before you just can't. So for me in that situation, it was lie after lie after lie after lie after lie that I was just like, I forgive it. Like, it's fine. There was a justifiable reason. I get the meaning behind it. I understand it. Let's just move past it. Water under the bridge. Let's just keep it trucking. Lie again. Fuck. All right, let's just move past it. Let's just fucking under the bridge. Let's keep it going. Lie again. Like, why? And it got to a point like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, it literally, I had to ask myself, like, if I can't trust you, are we friends? We're not. So what am I doing?
That situation specifically was really complicated.
It was incredibly complicated.
It was just really complicated. We all know you're better off.
Way better off than that. And I'm sure a lot of people are wondering what the situation is. We do not have enough time. We literally don't have enough time.
We can talk about it maybe next week. We could go into it a little bit with relationships.
You know what? This would be a great conversation for, Nabil.
Third one?
No, not even the third one. Our Friday night lock-in. This would be great conversation for a Friday night lock-in. A Friday night lock-in where, like,
it's a very interesting story. Really,
it's
deep.
You know what I found out that you told me was, like, I thought it was hilarious that I was the most tame as far as my response to the situation of all your friends.
Yes, you were actually. of everyone who knew, you handled it probably the what's the word? I guess not. I don't even want to say level-headed, but like it was a more of a like a, all right, well, what's the reasoning to it? Like, let's get to the root cause of it. Like, why XYZ?
Logical.
Everyone else was just like,
killer.
Fucking burn the bridge. Like, burn the bitch, cut it off. So walk away. It's a wrap.
The reason why I'm that way is because like, I can be a very fiery person. Imagine being 6'4" and 6'5" and looking like, I don't know, one fucking whatever away from being a goddamn ape. And so it can get like really scary for people when I get really mad. And so
you'd be surprised. 5'7" can be pretty scary too.
Ain't nobody scared of you. Get the fuck out of here. And
somebody's tires and that's it, baby.
And so I have worked on myself in the sense of like, all right, well, let's be as objective as possible. And so let's make the cleanest break possible without you like stressing your emotions into it, because fire only like breeds more fire. But when you can like suffocate the air, it's way more painful to someone, I think. And when you try to be objective, in my opinion, it's it hurts way more, and it really amplifies what you're trying to say.
You know what my biggest fault in a lot of these situations are? I don't know if it's a fault because it works sometimes. I try to, it sounds so fucked up. I try to hurt the person by just killing him with kindness. As shitty as you treat me, I'm going to be just, it's fine. It's fine. We'll move on. Because I want at the end of the day, when I kill it off, when it's over, you have nothing you can say negative about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you can stand the ground to say, well, he was a fucking asshole. It was like,
that's an interesting approach.
Time and time again. And it's like, you know, you don't have an argument anymore. So when it comes to like years later or whatever it might be, because I've had instances in my life where like, you know, one or two people have come back and be like, hey, I was shitty and I was wrong for da-da-da-da or whatever, try to bounce back. I'm like, dude, I've given you your second, third, and fourth.
Yeah.
Like we've done this already. I've
go ahead and name people in the chat that you've done that with.
All right, Junior Abity,
Max,
Max, fucking hell,
that motherfucking Guapo.
He's the worst.
Jesus. Gotta give Yezi like a cool name, but I can't. And so
Yezi is kind of cool. She doesn't need a cool name, although her name is
Yezi's.
Very cool.
I don't think I've ever met anybody with a closely related name as Yezi.
No, I don't. I've never known another Yezi.
I mean, yeah,
you're the only Yezi. Yezi.
Reel's a really cool name too. Anyway, for me,
it's okay.
It's just like a clean break. Like, okay, we're crossing that line. I'm done. Like that's it. Period. We're good. I'm moving, and you're left behind me. That's it. Yeah. What about you, Jess? You said it's hard to like let like
I don't let things go very well at all. Like I said, I'm like a suction cup. Like I'm like, you know, some sort of symbiotic relationship. I'm on top of you like a bad habit. It's really difficult to get rid of me.
Venom.
Yeah. Okay, sure. You know, so I think you really have to do something terrible in order to get me to leave the relationship. But speaking to the hurt part of it, it does, like I have had a couple friends in the past, honestly, maybe only one or two, because a lot of friendships change. You know what I mean? Like I would never say I'm not friends with the friends that I had in or as close with college or high school, right? But it doesn't mean that I'm not still friendly with them. If I saw them or if we went to a reunion or we grabbed lunch when I'm home or, you know, we're still friendly, but the relationship changed. It wasn't like we stopped being friends. It was just like we kind of faded out. I do have one friend though, that we had a fallout a long time ago. I was probably 19 years old. I was seeing my boyfriend of like 6 years at the time. And, you know, we started to get very serious. And I think we'll talk about this next week, but especially when you're younger, it's so hard to differentiate the two. I'm still learning that, you know, and it's really difficult. So I lost her in that process. She was like, I feel like you've totally ditched me and I can't be friends with you anymore. And she cut it. And it feels like a loss. You know what I mean? It feels like you've literally lost someone in your life, like they died. And it sounds so extreme, but it's just so incredibly painful, like down to my core. I was like, wow, like I feel so empty without this person. You know, we were very close. And we're fine now. We've totally, I mean, we've never been like the same, but we're still very, very friendly. When I go home, I see her, you know, everything's okay after like 8 years. It was no big deal. Right. But I think it's so painful to have to go through that. But I also think it teaches you something about how you are as a friend. And I feel like I've been a better friend from that experience, you know, and I'm fully aware, like, I've had friends say, hey, like, I don't feel like you're making as much time for me. You know, I'm seeing someone new right now. Right. And if I've had that happen, like, hey, I want to see you. I miss you. That in my head is like a complete sign right now. I know what to look for. Like, okay, you need to spend a little bit more time on this person. They miss you. You know what I mean? So I don't go through that again because it's incredibly painful. You know, it gives you anxiety too. Like you think your friends are just going to like leave you, you know, and then you're like, did I do something wrong? Are they mad at me? You know,
I think that moment when you have that like fear or that anxiety or whatever that thing is that like that I might lose this person, right? I think that is the assurance of how important that person is in your life.
Right. Absolutely.
And, you know, I mean, I can just use Nabil as an example that like, I mean, in our, fuck, has it been 10 years now of friendship or however the fuck long it's been? I can count. There's been 3 instances of our friendship kind of being on a rock, and not in a sense of like this is going to end, but on either he's in his shit and calls me on mine, or whatever it might be. That like it's at that moment where I realize like yo, all right, I gotta get this shit right. Like I'm not just gonna be I'm not willing to lose this aspect of my life, right? Like
not worth it.
It's not worth it at all. That's my dog. So like I cannot not make this right in whatever it is, whether it is something that I've done. And like in I'll confess it here live in front of everybody who's listening. There are instances where I didn't believe I was wrong, but I said
that's me most of the time.
I didn't believe
I'm
I
not
was
wrong.
wrong. But I think there's that in kind of all aspects of life, of things that you love in relationships with friends or relationships with your partner. There are moments you either are 100% right or you didn't do anything wrong, but it doesn't fucking matter.
Right. You have to succumb to it sometimes.
Because what's more important?
Right.
You being right.
Right.
Or this friendship, this relationship. Right. And there are instances where the relationship means more than me being wrong. And if you think I'm wrong, fuck it, I'm wrong. I don't care because I don't care enough about that topic to end it over that. Right. Fuck it. Whatever you say is right. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all.
I think I can recall one other time where we had like this blow up. And in that other time, I 100% didn't think I was wrong. But it was just like, I had to think to myself, like, this is literally what I thought was, well, like, what would Juan be doing right now if I was in his position, if he was in my position, right? And it's literally that, like, there's been one moment where I had a real quick like lesson from him where it was like, hey, I needed you to be a friend in this scenario, and you really fucking shit on the moment, and you weren't there for me. And it was honestly, if I were to explain the situation, which I'm not going to, it made me feel like shit, because ultimately in the grand scheme of things, he's right.
Yeah.
And so when we had a tiff a few years later, I had to think about that, which was like, okay, if he's in this scenario and I came to him, because there's a difference when we like kind of bullshit with each other, argue, and we're like, it's real. Like this shit is like, hey, fucking get out of your shit. Like, and in that moment for me, it was like, you're right. It's noted, got it.
Move on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so
I think sometimes it's just better to take the L.
Yeah. You gotta
move on. Yeah, move on, and for benefit of the friendship, right?
Because I think it's the stubbornness is wow. Jess, first time live recording.
Y'all.
Do you work in IT in the COVID era where everything is?
Oh, it was a picture frame on my desk, and it just like dropped. And
it better have been a picture of me.
It was a picture of my best friend and I.
Wow.
So it is of us. Great.
So it's us then.
It's us. It's her and I.
Fantastic.
Her and I, not you.
But what I was gonna say is, it's this stubbornness that I think ends friendships on the wrong note.
Absolutely.
Or actually, when I think about it, I don't think stubbornness is the thing that ends it on the wrong note. I think stubbornness is the thing that identifies that y'all weren't really as close as you thought.
Sure.
That's interesting. I don't necessarily think that as much. I think the stubbornness was correct. I feel like a lot of the time, like, you get mad at someone, and this has happened with my mom, like I'll get mad at her. And then obviously this is a different relationship because you always got to make up, but I get mad at her.
True family's a different
true family's fine. But, I get mad at her, and then I don't want to admit that I was wrong, which is stubbornness, but it's also dignity. You know what I mean? Having to go back to someone and say like, okay, I'm really sorry about this fight, and you're right, I was totally wrong. That takes a big person, and sometimes people aren't willing to do that. So both parties, you're like, okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to text them first. I'm not going to say anything.
I laugh about that because me and Nabil, I feel Nabil might be the most stubborn person, second to myself.
It's a competitive thing. It's weird.
It's such a competitive thing, and it's so funny how stupidly stubborn the both of us are when it comes to shit. That like, bye Junior, Abity.
Hi, Abity.
But like we're so stubborn to shit that like it turns into it's a joke now. Like it's almost an ongoing running joke on I will refuse to ever admit I'm wrong or don't know something to him in all aspects because
I've been waiting to bring a skit out of the shit that we do online to just oh god. Yeah, the things that I'm scared about is like I'll go on this tangent because we can keep it up for a while. And the chat is gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? And then it's not like you have to really wait out the punchline. But yes, it is at this point in time a literal joke onto itself. To which if certain people were on Xbox Live, they would be more than welcome to join our party, Brock.
B-Rock, bastard.
So
Xbox. Xbox.
I
Just kidding. I don't have an Xbox. I have now a PS4.
Yeah, but you could also play Duty with us, but you just never get on and tell me when you get on.
Okay, well, I've had a recent issue. This is a total tangent where my controller, I try to play Call of Duty and it's the person just goes around in a circle. Something's wrong with the controller. Yeah, I need to order new controllers is what it comes down to. But I really would like to get a Nintendo Switch. I think that's the move for me personally. Sorry, this is a total tangent.
That doesn't help us at all.
No, but I want to play Mario Kart. Yeah.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
That's how your people would say it. We're gonna play Mario Kart.
Mario.
No, that's
little known fact, little thing that Jess doesn't like to talk about. Jess is actually from Jersey.
Jersey.
I'm not from Jersey. That's a myth.
He loves a Jersey pace.
I am not from Jersey, and if Mary Lynn is on here, I'm so sorry. My father's also from Jersey. Jersey to me as a New Yorker is
I'm not even gonna bullshit. For the longest time when I first knew Jess, I would always say Jess is from Jersey.
Jess, real quick.
I've heard many things. Like I dated someone for 2 years and they consistently said I was from Rhode Island.
Oh no.
Like would introduce me like, this is Jess, my girlfriend from Rhode Island. No, I've told you this over and over again. I am from Long Island. It's a totally different place.
I think it's probably because of the way you say it, you sound like you're from Rhode Island. Because if you were from Long Island, you would say I'm from Long Island.
That is also math.
Say it. Say you're from
Long Island. You have to put like the G on it, but nobody talks like that. That's also, to be fair, we moved upstate when I was like 14, so I've lived, all over the place.
Stop hiding your accent.
I don't really have an accent.
You don't have an accent?
I really don't. My mom does, and my stepdad does. What?
I hear her Jersey accent.
There's a little Jersey, right? I told you there's a little Jersey.
I don't have. Mary Lynn, if you're on
little
here,
fucking Jersey girl.
Mary Lynn has a Jersey accent. I don't have one.
Mary Lynn does. Mary
Lynn has a Brooklyn accent.
Brooklyn.
This is all sorts of fucked up. Okay. Mary Lynn is from Jersey.
Yeah, but she sounds Brooklyn.
No, she does not.
I mean, to the rest of America, she does. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want.
Get a consensus.
The rest of America is not Nabil
America says she sounds like
we're moving on. Next question. What do we got on the list?
You might regret saying that. Because this next question.
I love I put this on here too. I love this that you have to ask this question.
You know what's weird about this? Because I'm not this kind of person that would ever fucking ask this question, especially publicly. Like I am so like not gonna cross that line.
Listen, it's 9:30 at night and we're having a ball. We're taking it late night. If there's kids watching the show,
stay tuned.
Get them off.
Oh no!
Late night. I'm about to pass the F out. So ask me the question.
Wow.
So last question.
Tell me if I'm from Jersey.
Because I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this before you ask the question. The reason this is the last question, it segues perfectly into next week's episode.
Amazing.
This is why we end with this.
I thought of
opening the door
that I wanted to ask, and I realized this is a week 3 question. Friends in introducing a partner. Anyway, so last question.
Okay.
Have you ever tried to date or be sexually active?
You're such an awkward individual.
My mom listens to this shit.
Have you ever tried to date or
you look at my friends differently?
So have you ever tried to date or have a friends with benefit situation with a friend? And how did that go?
Wait, a friends with benefits with a friend? That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
One
Unfortunately,
and I are friends like with benefits, right? Like
We're not. No, we're
the
not
benefits
gonna.
are called
Hold on a
PS3,
second.
buying
No
each other
way.
PS4s.
you
That's
let me
a
come
good
over and
benefit.
hang out. I let
That's
you
not the
borrow my
same.
video
That's not
game.
the. That's not how that. That's not how that be. That's not it.
Anyone?
That's not it.
I wouldn't do that with anyone.
That's not it.
We're
That's not
friends.
it. That's
Oh
not
my
it. That's
God.
not it.
With benefits.
That's not how
I
it
would let
is.
you smoke from my hookah.
That's kind of weird. I
That's
don't
like-
want to.
that's
I'm not
like-
doing that
That is an
anymore.
absolute benefit right there. That's
Guys,
It's
sharing
not.
is
Jess,
caring.
you're not helping. That's not how
Guys,
it's meant.
Juan and
That's-
I are friends.
I can honestly see. I see it. I see it. You
We
guys
are
just
friends
talked for
with
35
benefits
minutes about
hard.
Oh
an
no.
argument that
We
you had
benefit
a
the
year
shit out
ago.
of each other. Sometimes
We-
I
Makes so
benefit.
much
That's
sense.
not us.
The
That's-
PS4 buying is what really got me.
That's not
You
it.
know, you don't see me out here buying my best friend a PS4. Not that they would
Exactly.
want that. I
This
think
is
if you were
just-
on the call, I mean, I could
Just
ask.
dropped PS4.
We're
That's-
not friends with benefits.
First off, if there's
clear
any
it right
friend
Benefits
that
could
gets
be
the most
anything, though.
benefit,
Benefits
it's
doesn't have to
one
be
with me.
sex.
Yeah, but we're not that though.
Chat, clear it up. You guys know us, okay? You
I don't
guys
like
know
this.
us. Are Juan and I friends with benefits?
We're not, and even Adam's on. Adam can attest that we are
Adam-
not.
I think that
Adam-
Adam would easily say, yes.
The last
not.
member of the Dirtbag Boys, right
All
there.
three dirtbag boys are on
For
this
the
thing. Turn up.
Dirtbag Boys.
Dirtbag. We actually have a
That is not a
Snapchat
good
group
patent
that's called
song.
Dirtbag Boys. So
I don't
we're
love
Dirtbag
it.
Boys. Me, Adam,
you don't like
and
the
Juan.
Dirtbag Boys?
I'm
Wow.
not into it. No.
Hate her
Okay.
much.
That's why you're not a dirtbag boy.
Exactly.
Right? Like, we
I'm
didn't-
honestly.
That's
I'm
why
fine.
you're
we
Jess.
didn't
Jess.
include you.
right?
You're
Just
just
Jess. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Just Jess.
Dirtbag Jess doesn't have the same ring.
See
to
how
it.
nobody responded in the chat for the thing because we aren't friends with benefits.
okay. Fine.
We're
Jess,
just
break the
friends.
tie. Are Juan and I friends with benefits?
She's not the tiebreaker.
She is. She's a third person. Jess.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying. Friends with benefits doesn't have to be sexual.
Yeah,
You're
Juan.
friends
Yeah,
with
but-
benefits.
Okay.
Nabil
We're
bought
not-
you a
we're not-
PS4. That
yeah,
is
we're
a
not-
benefit
but
as
here's
being
We're not
the
his
thing.
friend.
reviewing all of our sexual stuff.
Here's the thing. No one is ever going to hear the term friends with benefits and think, oh, maybe he bought him a PS4.
But we're trendsetters. You know what I mean? We're
Exactly.
starting.
It's
We're
Trendsetting.
starting.
What's
We're
their
changing the
size above?
meaning of. We're
Here's the
changing the
thing.
What's
meaning.
your friends with benefits pronoun? It's video games. And
Yeah,
so-
I agree. It's video games.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
food,
here's the thing.
it's late
I
night
care-
talks, maybe a massage here or there.
I'm not
Who
doing that.
knows? I'm not
I
gonna
care
change it.
way more
And I'm
about
really
the
good at it too, Juan.
perception of that.
and I would what?
I care more about the perception of it than trying to change it, and the perception is not a good look. I'm out.
Yeah.
All right, I forgot the original question.
Okay.
Have
the
you
question
at
was-
any point
Right.
tried to
That's it.
have a friend with a benefits, basically?
With the benefits,
And how did that go? If
with a
Or
sexual
take-
benefit, not just a
sexual benefits,
PS4.
exactly.
Or
Not
tried
the
to-
PS4.
Yeah. So I've had I'm just trying to figure out a way to answer this that sounds
Listen, Jess, we are an
Right.
open book on this show.
yeah,
We don't-
yeah.
We don't
yeah,
sugarcoat
yeah.
shit.
I would say that I've had like different scenarios of it. Like in college,
Mhm.
I've had a really good friend of mine that we ended up sleeping together after I parted ways with my ex. And then after we did, it went back to normal. We were just friends again, and it's been that way ever since.
Sorry.
I heard my own voice. I was like, nice.
That's my bad. That's my bad.
And then I've had, instances or different kind of variations of it where, I was trying to work something out with a partner. We didn't date for a while, so we were friendly
Mhm.
and also beneficial, and then ended up dating again. So it varies, but I think it doesn't really if you start off as friends, I truly believe that you can go back to being friends at some point in time if you choose to, because that was the initial point of the relationship,
Yeah.
But I think if you were dating someone, which I know this isn't part of it, but if you were dating someone, you broke up, you became friends with benefits, and you tried to go back to friends,
Yeah.
there never was a friendship to start
because you
with.
never had a foundation of friendship. Yeah.
Right. And
So
yeah.
yeah, that's a tough one. So
Yeah.
in the sense of I think the friends with benefits point can only really happen when two parties are equally mature.
Right. Have a
And
mutual understanding of what that is, what that looks like.
100%. And communication's key.
Right.
You have to both be talking the same shit and understanding what this is
Right.
and just be cool with what it is, not
Right.
trying to with the expectation of it being more.
And I think people a lot of the time to me, friends with benefits is different than maybe what some people see it as. If you're like on Tinder or on Hinge or on Bumble and you are, you know, let's say you meet a person, you start hooking up, right?
Yeah.
There are times, you know, I have some distant friends that are like, yeah, we're friends with benefits. To me, that's not friends with benefits. That's you're hooking up with someone.
Yeah, you're hooking up with them.
Friends with benefits.
You're not that person's fucking friend.
Is really a friendship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have a foundational friendship with this person and you decided to take it further. Now, whether you take it somewhere else, that's totally up to you. But if you can go back and you still have a friendship, then that's friends with benefits, you know? But to me, like there's so many different variations of what that looks like, you know?
So in that moment when that friend became beneficial, was it more of a moment of convenience? Or like what was the thing you think that just kind of like made it work?
Were they ever trying to cash in on that 401k, if you know what I'm saying?
Sneaky son of a bitch. No, yeah. So I think like as far as that, like really friends with benefits situation like that, actually what it looks like friends with benefits. We had been close for years. I mean, we were really good friends in the same friend group, but I feel like I always kind of knew that something could be there, but I was seeing someone and it just was never really the right time. And it wasn't necessarily something that I wanted to explore. I didn't ever really think he'd be a very good partner. You know, I think with those expectations, when you don't have hope that it'll be something else, I think that's the most healthy way to approach it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I looked at it and I was like, I think this has the potential to be something, I really have feelings for this person, it can go incredibly wrong. I don't remember the initial question, but we're still friends to this day.
Yeah. No, you're nailing it. Yeah, that's fire. If I had to answer that same question of like, if I've had friends with benefits in work, I mean, I've had it. I can say there were 3 instances of it. To be honest, one.
I feel like that's quite a bit. You don't find that? I feel like those situations are hard to come by because they're hard to obtain.
They're hard to obtain because I especially I feel like the younger you were, like the younger you are, the harder it is to grasp.
You're less mature.
You're less mature and you're not honest. Like I think we can all just be 100. You're not. You will say and do any fucking thing to accomplish whatever fucking task you're trying to set out. But I've had that, right, and all of them turned out well in the sense of like, you know, it was a thing for a moment and then it wasn't, and it was well communicated and still friends, and we talked today, like not close, right, but like we talked. In one burnt to the ground. But outside of that one,
but I think in comparison, if we're talking about the same person, in comparison to maybe some of those other situations, there were way more. I think there were a lot of feelings involved, and I think that's where it gets super complicated.
Yeah,
to me, if there are feelings, which is why, like, you know, the ex-boyfriend thing doesn't work. There was too much there to try and make something work that's so casual. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I won't talk about that. Okay. I dropped the poker chip. It's kind of a thing. But no, you're 100% right. There was too much
there.
There were layers.
Layers, right. And that's, you can't have layers of friends with benefits.
Can't have layers.
Friends with benefits should be very surface level. Exactly what it is. Friends with benefits. Which is really fucking hard to do.
It's hard. It's very difficult.
Really
hard.
Sign
is if you believe it's complicated, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, but that it is a complication in itself. If you can find your way out of it with this person, great. But a lot of the time when we're intimate with someone, and whether you agree with this or not, or the male species agrees with this or not, it creates some sort of bond, whether it's, you know, feelings or physical intimacy. You know, you have this connection with this person, and to be friends with benefits, it has to be very surface level. Yeah, you know, you can't be staying over for pillow talk. You know what I mean? Like you're going back to the bar to get some brewskis. Like that's the kind of relationship you need to have, and it's really hard to do.
Here's the thing. I'll challenge that, because I think you can have the pillow talk, because I think it boils down to communication. What do you want out of this friends with benefits? What's the benefit?
With friends with benefits, you're not looking for anything. It's just supposed to be friends with benefits, unless you're taking it to a different level.
So here's why I say that, right? So there were there become instances of there are aspects of a relationship that you enjoy that if you're not in a relationship that you miss. And if I am friends with this person, the aspect of if we get to that point, right, the friends and benefits. We sleep over, whatever, we wake up the next morning. Like, this is nice. Like, why does this have to, why do we have to take this to a different level? We would talk any other time. Just because we bump
but
up.
Wouldn't you communicate that before then you slept together?
Yeah. I mean, but
for me,
it all becomes communication of like what's too far, I guess, is the conversation that I've had with the person. What's the line before this becomes
more
uncomfortable or becomes you think this is becoming too serious?
Yeah.
Once that line is identified, that's fine. Because I'm gonna be honest, your boy likes pillow talk, ladies.
Pretty sure most of the people on this whatever Twitch thing you call it are men. Yeah. Okay. You know what?
Know that.
I don't. Let me just go through the.
Okay. Well, the names are deceiving.
The usernames.
Names are deceiving. Let's not go into.
Well, I can tell you that at least like the first 3 people are.
All right. Well, fellas with single friend ladies, like, you know, throw it out there. I'm gonna say one thing that I find funny with this show. Because that's after this topic we just walked through. I'm positive. My dad has learned so much more about me on this show than he ever thought he ever knew or wanted to know. Just based off topics that we've talked through and we've walked through.
Sure.
And it's so much easier to have this and not see him or like have to hear him respond back. Love you, Pops. Sorry you had to find out a lot of these things about your son.
Yeah, my mom also listens to this podcast. So there's that.
What's up, Mama?
Yeah, she's not on. She listens afterwards.
Which is even better.
My boyfriend, so I have to be really, really careful because I don't want to piss either of them off.
Nope. Listen.
No, thank you.
I don't want to talk about it. Fucking Pops, what's up? Listen, man, you gotta be. I told this to the Bill when we first started the show. I want this show to be like embarrassingly honest.
Yeah, well, that's what it should be.
Exactly. I want the realness. I want to talk about the shit that we don't talk
people
about.
Don't want to talk to people. Like, I feel like not being honest is super, super fucking boring. You know, I think that, and half the time I'm kidding, right? You know, there's a time and place for everything. I think, you know, last week I said some shit that I definitely didn't mean. Was I a surgeon or something? You know what I mean? We make it more interesting. We had some fluff in there, but I think being honest, you know, people want to hear honesty because they want to relate.
And you know, I think that's what gets people on the show. Like people aren't stupid. They can see through bullshit. And if we faked all this shit, we wouldn't have we would have 24
I mean, we might, but it would be a different show. I mean, yeah.
So Nabil, I want you, since your sister's on, talk about a friend that, you know,
I really
that you slept with. You talk, hey, listen, I'm gonna blow this thing up, bro. Let me talk. I want to hear about a friend you smashed. You know what I'm saying?
What is it?
Let's talk about a bestie you smashed. I want names. I want deets.
I want it all.
Photos. We're gonna post all the photos of all the friends we slept with on our IG page. I want to know. Look, Cecil Johnson wants to know. I'm sorry, Coach Johnson wants to know. Oh, Guapo's crying, laughing. Pops is moving to Canada, but he still wants to know. Let's hear it, man.
Everybody wants to know. The life can be hit us with it, buddy.
I got 2 things I got to say. 1, Pops, there's still internet in Canada. 2,
that's true.
You had made mention that's like, oh, why do we have to give labels and that and this? And I love the pillow talk and blah, 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 blah. But it's like, how do you have that conversation? Because those moments are genuinely spontaneous. So like, I mean, is there like, have you ran yourself into a situation where you're in the rare position where you know this is going to happen? You're like, well, hold on, let's talk about this. Because usually the let's talk about this happens after.
Yeah, it's after. So anytime I've had the conversation, it's the jump off has been spontaneous. It wasn't like a pre-planned. We had a conversation beforehand.
And has it ever?
We're friends. I think we should smash. No, it's never been that. But it always ended up being like something happened. Something. Mario's great. Something happened. Something segued, and like it happened.
Yeah. And
either it was immediately afterwards, or you know, if it slept over the next morning, right? Like we should probably talk. And I'm 100% on. I'm making sure before we leave this bitch, we're gonna have the conversation because like that in my opinion, that's when it becomes awkward. When you don't talk about it, we both leave. You leave with your own perception of whatever this thing is, and now it's either like I can't talk to him anymore. This is awkward. I don't want to do it, or vice versa. So, as uncomfortable as the conversation is, we're gonna have it the next morning. Like it's just like let's define this. Is this? It was just like, all right, we were drunk. It happened. Fuck it. We're done. We're not gonna do this again. Cool. If it's, I mean, I didn't hate it. All right, well, cool. How do we? What do we do with this?
Most likely, you're not going to hate it. I mean,
exactly. You wouldn't have.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Valid. You wouldn't have continued. I mean, unless you're terrible, but you know, your boy terrible.
Dude, this is something I always say. Sex is like pizza. There's bad pizza out there, but it can never be awful because it's
bad pizza.
You'll still eat bad pizza.
I'll still eat bad pizza because
so you'll eat pizza with AIDS? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, is there pepperoni, garlic, and fucking fresh mozzarella on that bitch? Because I'm gonna smash that AIDS pizza. Like I'm just gonna be 100, smashing it. I'm in.
I don't love that per se. Yeah, that's not my favorite.
I'm sorry that you're fucking pizza racist or like you're strict with your pizza. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm a pineapple pizza only guy.
I knew you were gonna say it. I knew it.
Listen, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this right now. We might lose viewers from this. Pineapples on pizza should be normalized. I'm just throwing
I
it
agree.
out
I love it. I think Mary Lynn is in here, and Mary Lynn also likes pineapple.
Normalize it. I fucks with pineapple and jalapeno on my pizza.
I
need that sweet heat.
I don't like jalapeno.
I like ham. I like ham on it too, but that's
ham. Yep, ham, pepperoni,
ham, pineapple.
To me, it's funny to make fun of, but like I could eat a slice of pineapple pizza, but I can only eat really like one slice because I want my pizza to be more savory than it is.
Because you need that heat.
I do too. I get that.
So here's what you need to do: since you don't like jalapenos, do a pineapple pizza and get the red peppers and fucking red pepper the fuck out of it. You need the heat to contrast the sweet. Now you got you something.
I think a good half and half deal is the way to go.
Yeah,
like a
half and half
pineapple, ham pizza, and then the other.
This is completely off topic, but I want to know because I'm going to say I want to know your favorite pizza. I want to know your pizza toppings.
Yeah.
Like what is your fucking favorite? If I had to build right now my pizza. Ultimate pizza, I'm very basic with my shit.
Super basic.
Yeah.
Pepperoni, garlic, basil.
Yeah,
you're basic so far. What the fuck? Like you're adding ingredients. Fuck out of here.
That's basic. Like I mean, I'm literally adding garlic to veggies,
and marinara sauce for pizza.
That's it. Like that pizza by itself, pepperoni, garlic, basil is my shit. And if I had to get complex, I'll half and half it, and the other half will be that same shit, like same pepperoni, garlic, basil, and then I will add pineapples and fucking jalapenos, and that's my jam.
I'm Old Glory. Give me extra cheese and pepperoni.
You are truly a basic bitch.
I don't like the saying Old Glory. It reminds me of like glory holes, and I don't like that.
That's funny how you took Old Glory to a completely different place. I took Old Glory to like old Civil War fucking Confederacy. Old Glory.
Glory holes.
I just thought it was like an old patriotic saying. I didn't.
It's old Confederate.
I don't think that's actually.
I guess I'm about to get canceled. Jess, your favorite pizza, so I can avoid this question.
Yeah. It's tough because I'm not from Jersey. I'm from New York, and we love pizza. It is like
Jersey people love the fuck out of pizza. That is what
there's Jersey pizza and then there's New York pizza. It tastes.
What do you prefer? What's your back home Jersey pizza or like in town fancy New York pizza?
Told you, my dad lives in Jersey. He's lived there for 27 plus years, so I know the Jersey spots, baby. I am also like semi-traditional. I think the most important thing on a pizza is obviously going to be, two things: the dough, the crust, right? But also the marinara sauce, the pizza sauce. Like it is so incredibly important. I don't like my pizza sauce to be too sweet, so a lot of basil is not my favorite. Some people like to add a little bit of sugar. I don't particularly love that.
Who the fuck?
A lot of pizza. I was
gonna say 80% of the marinara you've had in your life has sugar.
I don't love that.
I
like
Papa
very
John's
like savory.
Yeah, because here's the thing, Nabil.
Marinara.
I will challenge you almost to make your own marinara once. Like if you just take the tomatoes and stew it down by itself, it's not sweet.
No.
Like tomatoes by itself is very, very good.
But it's the basil and a little bit of sugar mixture. I just don't love that.
Yeah.
So really important sauce. If it's a high quality pizza, I like to be simple. I just like a cheese slice, But if I know that I'm getting like Domino's, I want everything on the pizza. You know what I mean? I want
You want the whole shit.
pepperoncinis. I want meat lovers. You can even throw some pineapple on there. A good 4 cheese. You know, if it's not quality, I want everything on it. You know what I mean?
feel
If
that.
it's a good pizza, I think
Yeah.
simplicity is like, because I just want to taste the cheese and the sauce, baby.
So let me ask you this, Jess.
Yeah.
What's your favorite
Scary
spot
movie.
to go to
Oh,
in New
that
York?
is.
What's your favorite scary?
In New York?
In New York. Yeah,
Okay.
you have like a bomb
This is
pizza spot
fucking
because
easy.
I'm going
So easy.
for Christmas and I need to fucking know, Jess.
So here's the thing.
I'm listening.
Obviously I grew up on Long Island, so my mom would probably be able to tell you a better spot in like New York City.
Even Long Island. It's not
Long
that
Island. So there's this place called Salvatore's. It is literally the most
Salvatore.
incredible pizza. It's like
Okay.
very close to Manhasset, kind of close to the water. We used to go there when I was growing up, and it's like wood fire oven pizza. I mean, you can see them stick it in, but like they have like fresh pieces of basil, not in the sauce, but on top of it. The crust is super nice and like bubbly, and they have like fresh pieces of mozzarella on there. It's just like a really quality pizza.
I am
Not typical New York pizza, in my opinion.
super disappointed at Jeremy's reply. Home Slice and Pine House are not even near the solar system of the pizza in New York.
Okay.
I would agree
feel you.
with
Here's the
that.
thing.
I would agree with that.
I agree. However, we got to give, like, if we have to say the best Austin pizza,
Oh, Home Slice.
we're going to have to give one of those two
Interesting.
spots credit.
Home Slice.
I disagree with you. I think it's Via.
We'll see, but that's
And I
just,
say-
all right, so here's the thing. All
and
right.
I say
Touche,
Via.
Touche.
I say Via because I feel like no place is going to do a New York pie justice. So
Fair.
it might as well be something else. And I think
You
Via does itself very well.
I
I
think
think
Home
it is a
Slice the
quality
next
fucking deep dish
day.
pizza.
Home Slice the next day tastes so much better than.
But
Via
Home
the next
Slice
day.
is just it's there's nothing wrong with it, but it's
Yeah.
doing something that doesn't belong to them. In my
Here's how I
opinion.
feel. I feel a home slice is best when you get it from the fucking little window.
Yeah.
They got a
Home
nice
Slice.
clam pizza.
Their clam pizza slaps.
Slaps.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that clam pizza is awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
It's literally like, I don't even think they put a sauce on it. I think it's just like olive oil, clams, garlic.
Yeah, so
crust,
good. It's just a
slap,
white. Yeah, it's
lemon,
so
it's
good.
just
That honestly, that pizza is good.
That's bomb. For me, for like an order to pick up to bring home or even eat there, Pint House might be
Yeah,
my
Pine House is good
favorite
too.
in Austin. Just their crust is just really fucking good to destroy. But Via 313 was gonna always be my favorite in Austin. Like I
Yeah,
can't
it's
knock
just a
that.
good
Like
pizza.
it's just
And I like it because it's kind of like a little bougie. You know, they've
Yeah.
got that like fig Parmesan thing that they got going on, whatever that
Parmigiani.
is,
Yeah.
the balsamic drizzle. That is and the prosciutto, that is a good
shoot
pizza.
that prosciutto pizza is slaps.
Yeah, that is a good quality. I mean, it's just they have good pizza and they know what they're doing. Like they know their brand.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree.
But I've
100%.
also never been to Chicago. We've talked about this many times. So I have really no idea
Ugh.
what a deep dish
Gotta
pizza
go there.
actually tastes like from Chicago.
Here's what I'm gonna say. When you go, because I'm gonna make sure in 2022, Jess, we will plan a trip. If it's the Daily Convo does a
St. Patty's
road
Day.
show in fucking Chicago, we're gonna do it.
Amazing.
But like, we're gonna get you a Chicago deep dish. Do not go in with the expectation that Via 313 is a deep dish.
It's not.
I mean, I don't.
It ain't.
I just thought that, it's
Just-
deeper than your average pizza.
It's reversed. So we're
Okay.
like, you're used to having like, your traditional pizza, right?
Yeah.
Crust,
Yeah.
marinara,
Yeah.
cheese,
Yeah.
toppings. We flip it. It's crust, cheese, toppings, marinara on the top.
I'm about it. I mean, I've
It's-
literally never had it. I am
it's a lot.
absolutely, I'm also very hungry right now. All of these things, even like Little Caesars sounds like an option at this point.
All right, I'm gonna say this because people are gonna hate me for this. Nabil doesn't believe me because I've been preaching this shit for years. He ain't about it. Little Caesars, and this is only if you're like about that glutton life. Little Caesars has a stuffed crust pizza. Their
Yeah.
extra most bestest is literally the title.
Great.
Stuffed crust pizza that is better than any other stuffed crust pizza you're ever gonna find.
Sold.
I
So-
would challenge you to find me something better. Order that shit and tell me it's not the bomb. It's like $8. You're not finding a better
Great.
fucking value than that.
I like a good deal, baby. I do like a good deal.
I'm calling it out. Ladies and gentlemen,
look at the time.
It's a wrap. We've done all of the
We
friend
have
songs.
outdone ourselves with pizza
Thank God I
and
never answered the fucking question.
friends.
We don't give a shit about your answer. I'm just gonna be honest.
Thank God. Go on.
I don't care. No, go ahead and answer the question. We want to know about your friends with benefits. Have you ever had a friends with benefits?
Yeah.
All right. He answered it. Great. That was a good response.
I hate you're getting off with this one. That's
What do you
I
mean?
really hate.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. How did it go?
So listen, one thing about me is I realized the hard way that I don't like the notion of just like sleeping with someone and just like, and that's it or whatever. Like Juan can attest to this. Because it like drives my anxiety. I don't feel good about it because I don't feel that way about the person, right? I do correlate those good feelings of what you would want to do and like what you would want to build in a relationship, like love, to sleeping with someone. And I know that's very
I get that completely.
It's very old school.
The emotional aspect there, the emotional connection is there.
Yeah. And
I can disassociate the two.
It was very spontaneous. And I remember like it happened and I remember texting Juan at 3 a.m, like, oh my fucking God, what did I do? Sleep and this person's in my bed, like I want them to leave or whatever. And he was
That's a good thing about friends with benefits. You just say, hey, get the hell out of here, cat.
Fuck out.
Get out.
But that first night
you can't.
The first night you just gotta kind of roll with it.
You can't.
You can though. You actually can, believe it or not.
You can. A little bit of an asshole. I've gone through it. It wasn't like a fun time for me. I learned that hard way that it's not something I think I care for, right? I'd rather associate the two things with that passionate physical part with the emotional part as like in a relationship. It has happened. And so I didn't like it. I don't know of anybody else that's ever like had that feeling, but
no, like, I'm like that too.
It's not like this person was like not attractive or any of that stuff. They were. I just knew that
wasn't going there.
It wasn't going there. And I just knew they weren't right for me. So
I think it's also important when you have that like friends with benefits, like where you are in your life is important. What you want in your life at the time is important. Because like you can have these moments where like, all right, I fucked up, or not even fucked up, like, all right, cool, I slept with a friend. If you're not in that moment in your life, like if you're really in that hunt of I'm looking for a relationship, I want something serious, then like, yeah, that's not gonna work. Like that was the thing that happened. Like, fuck, I kind of regret it. However you want to look at that. But like, you know, it's key to understand where you are in your life and the complacency you have before that becomes a thing that you extend into something more, right? You extend into a regular thing. And it's key to have that understanding. And I don't think you were there at that point in your life when that happened.
I wasn't. I mean, I would say it didn't like end well at the moment with that person, but at the same time, it's like we're cordial. It's not someone I really go out of my way to say like, let's go hang out and do this and that or whatever. It just, it wasn't for me. So that I've done it. I've been through it. It's almost happened twice and once in Juan's pool. And then,
remember that.
Thank God I had the wherewithal.
It was a terrible night.
Oh man. Okay, so I got to share this story. This is hilarious. This person got real chummy with me real quickly. Things were happening in the pool, not like to that extent that maybe your brain is going, a little kissing here and there. And so at the end of the night, not even the end of the night, like she just was like, hey, do you want to, I'm leaving. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you should hang out with us. Like we're staying here. She was like, I'm leaving. And I was like, ah, man, that sucks. I mean, we're just going to hang out for a little bit longer, but all right, well, I'll see you later. And she was like, okay. And then like storms the fuck out. And in that situation, I was like, oh, this is really weird. Like, okay, well, She's drying herself off. I'm like, yeah, I should probably.
I want to
dry
say
myself
this
off.
to interrupt slightly. Nabil has like this like weird ability of being so naive to the obvious.
So bad.
Cracks me the fuck up. He had no idea that this girl was trying to hint. Come
over it.
it.
Exactly. Like, unless you just say it, to like you keep wanting with me. It goes back to
I'm also like that. I'm very oblivious to shit. I'm like, huh?
It goes back to the one thing that we said last week, where like women approaching men, like
What happened is
it doesn't happen as often, but you would bat 1,000. Versus men, like I have to analyze 4,000 fucking hints. I don't want to. I don't give a shit. You care about me? Come talk to me. I have some witty rapport for you. Cool. Outside of that, I don't give a shit. Now, this lady leaves the pool, and I'm like, okay, well, see you, see you. And so I'm drying off, whatever. And I'm sitting there. She's saying her goodbyes. And she goes to Juan, and she's like, hey, Juan, thanks for inviting me. It was a great time. Kisses him on the lips and walks right past me. And I'm like, all right, hey, see ya. And she's like, it just keeps walking. And I'm like, I look at Juan, and I was like, that was really awkward. She kissed me on the lips. And Juan's like, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
like some shit your grandma does, you know?
I was like, what the fuck was that?
It was a wild. It was a wild as fuck night. We literally had a party and we were drinking all fucking day. So it was both like it was a hot mess. The girl was a hot mess. Bless her heart.
I don't love it.
I wasn't a fan.
I am also not a fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I am a hillbilly and fuck Top Gun. Wrap it up, Juan.
That's rude. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all, the 12 of you who are still holding strong, the 12 biggies, the Biggie Smalls of the 12 world. I love all y'all.
Thank you guys.
Haley's still kicking it in here. We still got a good group of people in this.
Kicking it just for you.
Y'all, this was the end of episode 1 of a 3-part series on our relationship. This was friendship. We will be on next Wednesday, same time, to talk about relationship as in dating aspect, part 2.
This is where it gets good, everybody. The tea.
This is where it gets real, because we're going to have some very serious questions to ask. And I am going to, one question that I'm even going to preview now that I want all y'all to look forward to going into next week is,
do you go into the bathroom with the person you're dating?
Do you sit with the door open?
Fuck no, don't walk near me in that bathroom. I'm not gonna go.
But I'm going to ask the question, how toxic is love?
It's an easy answer. Spoiler alert, fucking very don't do it.
Hella toxic. The things
don't
we
do
do.
It.
That's a good one.
Guys, again, like, we can't stress this enough. We wouldn't do this fucking show without all of you. Everyone who's been joined on when we peaked at 20, the 9 that's here, the people who aren't able to watch now, who listen to us on Spotify. I cannot thank all of you enough. I would literally be sitting online talking to Nabil's dumbass.
This is what we're gonna do after this.
This is literally when we get off of this, I'm gonna jump on an Xbox party and I'm gonna come sit back in here and upload everything. This is my life. But I thank all of y'all for this shit. I thank Carl Customs for being our sponsor. He put the link in the chat. Hit him up. Again, custom tumblers, all that shit. Yep. One love. To review things that some of y'all might not have known, we do have at the end of this 3-part series, we're going to do an episode on the IT industry. It'll be myself and Nabil, and we're going to have a guest. Oh, you're going to say it now? I'm just going to wait and hold that off.
Who was it? Who? I didn't hear it.
Our buddy Atalo.
Atalo is, except
that is a beautiful name. Atalo.
And Jess, by all means.
Nabil.
Nope. I don't want to talk tech.
Jess won't be there, so it'll just be the boys again.
Not be attending. You got me on relationships. You got me on TV shows. I will not be joining for technology. I don't even know what Twitch is or whatever.
I love that. Like we're going to talk through the tech industry. We're also going to, that episode as well will be our movie review. And to recap, Nabil will be watching a legendary, heartfelt, sentimental movie that will pull at your heartstrings called Sandlot. And I will be listening to or watching a very comedic, lighthearted. very, very comedic, lighthearted movie called 12 Years a Slave.
Have you seen it yet, or are you waiting?
No, I have not watched it yet. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till close to the episode, so it's like fresh.
Really,
it's gonna be great. But guys and gals, I appreciate again everybody who's here. Stay tuned for when we have the dates for our Friday night lock-in, because things will just kind of get very real, and I will be off the cuff on that, and the Bill will be himself. We might have, a guest member from the Rabati gym. TBD. We'll let y'all know on that. We don't know. We don't know who's gonna jump in. We might bring in multiple people. We don't know. It's gonna be a fun night.
I'm excited. I'm pumped.
Jess is pumped. We'll be playing some games.
I may not see it, but it's only because I'm half awake.
Right? She's hype on that. So I'll go to Jess. Jess, any parting last words you want to give the people who are locked into us this late?
Thanks for being real, guys. Appreciate you sticking around. And I really want to say like a Jim Carrey quote, or like something that like someone funny would say. But I have nothing once again. So good night.
I appreciate that.
Wait. Doesn't he say like
Somebody stop me.
No, good morning.
If I don't see you, good morning, good evening,
and good night. Nice. That's it. That's what I'm
like
saying.
that.
That's it. Yes. Thank you very much. Truman Show.
Everything that Bill just said is what Jess would want to say. So
yeah,
just
exactly. He said it. Yeah. That covers both of us, I think.
Have you seen the Truman Show one?
Yeah.
That's
what about the Majestic?
Yeah.
Have you seen the Majestic? I love
the
Majestic. Okay, great.
Have you seen the Prestige?
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yes.
Yes.
So great.
Magic movie. Right?
Nabil, what do you want to leave the people? Yes.
So I was just I just want to say again to the 4 people that subscribed to get us over 50. Thank you so much. To our new viewers, I love you. Thank you guys for staying up this late, chatting with us. I am excited to go and play Guardians of the Galaxy, which, by the way, if you need a video game recommendation, go get Guardians of the Galaxy. If you love the movie, it's like you're living it in the video game.
Pratt, baby.
You're playing a movie.
It's wonderful. Great. It's hilarious and wonderful. But that's it. Thank you guys, and I love you guys for sticking with us and listening to us.
I love all you guys. And before we wrap this thing, if you are not, and I cannot stress this enough, if you are not investing in Shiba Inu,
oh my God, no, I'm out.
Stop being dumb.
She will watch at the end of the show.
I'm just gonna say it right now. Go and download Coinbase.
Right.
I'm done.
Please.
This is not worth it.
At the start of the show, we were at 8-0. Now we're at 8-5.
Let's fucking go. Listen, guys, I can't stress enough. If you just want to make money, if you have $100 to blow, download Coinbase app. Look for Shiba Inu, the name of the dog. Throw $100 in it, and I can almost guarantee you in a week you will make money. You will make
cash out, and use that money on blow. So
I made
Coke.
Okay, my parents are definitely listening to this. Let's not get into that topic.
Well, then I hope they're listening. Invest in Shiba Inu and hold your shit.
Okay. We'll talk about Shiba Inu later. I would like to make some money, but I think that maybe you could just run it for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, just if you do those 2 things, you download Coinbase and you put $100 on Shiba Inu, that's all you need to do. Put $100 on Shiba Inu and then fucking forget about it.
I will forget about it. I have no idea what it is.
And then I will text you when you hit $1.
I
will give this to everybody in this shit.
Wake your ass up.
100%. I will give everybody in this chat. Download the app. Send me a message or message us on here or Instagram. Coinbase is the app. Go to Shiba Inu, find it, put $100 on it. Message me that you did it, and I will message you when this thing hits $1.
Except for Mario.
Simple as that. Simple as that. You do nothing else. You do nothing else. Literally, Carl, my pops made 4 figures off of it. Listen, I put $600 into the damn thing. I'm up to 2,600. I'm actually at 2,800 right now.
Damn.
Listen, and it's been 4 weeks.
I'll do $100 and see where it goes.
I mean, it's 600 because I closed out other things and moved into it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, how we end every show. Many people aren't worth your time. Some people are worth your time. And honestly, everybody's worth figuring that out. Until we meet next week, I love you. Thank you for being here. We'll see you. One love.